play football. So we should have a great night. We've got great weather, so we're really looking forward to it.
All right, Connecticut won the first game road. He's got a 2-game win streak. Guys like Sean McGowan have made a difference for Rhode Island the last couple of years.
Sean's a great player, an all-stater out of St. Ray's, and Mike Sassy's his head coach. And Sean has led the state this year in interceptions, is a real quality player, and he's been the leader in the clubhouse for them for the last 2 weeks during practice. So we're real excited to see Sean play tonight.
Sean getting loose and limber, and he better be ready defensively because there's a lot of talent on the Connecticut sideline, no doubt about it. Tim Washington, one of the best athletes, period, and all-around students in the entire New England area.
Tim Washington is an interesting football player. They devised an entirely different offense than anybody else runs in New England. It was a shotgun snap to him directly. He carried the ball 40 to 50 times a game. He's headed to Syracuse. He is a Division I athlete and a great one at that.
And he's all around, too. He's a great student. That's one amazing, that and so many years in a row that he's been a dominant player in Connecticut.
It is. It's a rare combination because he's an academic all-state kid for the last 3 years in Connecticut, which says a great thing. And also, he's got 11 state rushing records in the state of Connecticut, which is an accomplishment in itself.
All right, we'll get to see Tim Washington, some of the other great senior football players from Rhode Island and Connecticut. They will be playing for the hardware. To the victor go the spoils. Opening kickoff coming up next here on Cox 3.
He will strike down with vengeance.
I got a stutter! I'm a lot pissed off!
And furious anger.
Sorry, piece of trash! Son of a...
You will know his name.
Steve Austin, don't go Steve Austin!
When he lays his stone-cold vengeance upon thee.
There's a rattlesnake!
WWE Vengeance is in demand live July 21st. Order it from Cox Cable.
I was transferred. Welcome to East Providence. We just had our opening kickoff here between the Rhode Island and Connecticut All-Stars, and kind of a pooch kickoff. Smart move, fair catch there by the Rhode Island defensive team. Lucas Briarty from South Kingstown made the catch. So Rhode Island in the blue will start out with great field position. Actually, Connecticut, will start out. They have the blue uniforms here in this one. Rhode Island did win the toss, but they deferred to the second half. So it will be Connecticut starting 1st and 10 on offense. A lot of talent out there for Connecticut. Quarterback, Jason Manson. Handoff comes to the and number 21 with the rush for the Connecticut All-Stars.
That was Tomi Okunfalami from LaSalle Academy. He was a great player. It was just a traditional toss sweep, a downhill play, and Tomi came out of the secondary, made an excellent tackle.
Justin Hairston, the ball carrier out of New Britain, the tailback.
Justin's a great player in his own right. He's headed for Iowa in the fall this year, and he and Tim Washington, I'm sure, will share the tailback duties for Connecticut all night long.
Handoff. And about a 5-yard gain or so for Hairston on that one. Set up a 3rd down, 5 yards to go.
Same play, Don, to the other side of the field. Another toss sweep downhill. They're obviously going to get their tailbacks involved in the offense tonight. Connecticut threw the ball a lot in last year's game. I think they're looking with the quality of their tailbacks to establish the run game more this year.
Another look at Hairston's run.
Linebacker.
And a nice job blocking up front. A little size advantage up front for the Connecticut All-Stars, which they've had in the past against Rhode Island, as Rhode Island jumped en masse. And usually when that happens, it's because they were drawn offside by the opposition. We'll see what the official says. Tim Conway is the referee for this one.
Well, Jason Manson, a quarterback for the Connecticut team, is from Bloomfield High School, and he's a quality quarterback. He's played here in East Providence. People might remember in Bloomfield. He's played at East Providence this past fall, and he probably used great inflection in his voice to draw the Rhode Island All-Stars off sides, which gave them a 1st down on the 44.
Seemed like on the motion man, Hairston, as soon as Hairston started going in motion, a little jump by Rhode Island. So at the 44-yard line, Connecticut with their first down of this ball game, just underway. 15-minute quarters we'll be playing. As we said, Rhode Island comes in with a 2-game win streak in this one, and Connecticut's pretty mad about that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. They're very focused. At the pregame meal, here comes a reverse. It looks like he's got a lot of field to work with.
Down the other end, nice downfield block into Rhode Island territory, and eventually dragged down the tackle by Shafik George out of Moses Brown, but not before a huge gain for Connecticut.
Well, a great call down by Rob Samazik, I'm sure, the head coach from Connecticut. He was calling the plays. He ran 2 toss sweeps to set it up and ran a reverse off of the toss sweep, which was a great play.
That's David Sanchez, wide receiver out of Enfield.
It's a great run by David here, and then he got a great downfield block here by the quarterback, Jason Manson, who made a great block on Chafik George in the secondary, and a great cut against the grain.
One more look at the quick pitch, and Sanchez on the reverse. Great camera work there. Hairston, handoff up the middle, being written down by Greg Daniel out of LaSalle Academy.
Greg did a great job sliding inside. He's playing the right defensive end. He slid inside to make the play on that ISO play. And you'll see during the course of the night, the defensive ends on both sides of the ball, because of the 50 defense they're forced to play, are usually the kids that make the most impact defensively on both sides. So you're going to hear a lot of Jamal Bloxon from Rogers tonight and a lot of Greg Daniel from LaSalle.
So at number 57, Matt Richards, another LaSalle Academy star player. Second down, 8 yards to go. There are some different rules in this one being an all-star game. We'll go over those as the game progresses. Hand off to the fullback. First man up the middle, gains a good chunk of yardage on that one. It's Mike Penta out of Notre Dame High School in West Haven. Take a look at the series history in this one. Connecticut won the inaugural game down in Southington, and then the University of Rhode Island, a shocker at Storrs, Connecticut. Rhode Island 13-7 victory, and then last year, to prove it was no fluke, absolutely pasted the Connecticut All-Stars right here at Pierce Field.
Well, that last play was just a simple belly play to the fullback, and the defensive end got up the field. Rhode Island has made a substitution, brought in Owen Cope from Mount Pleasant High School, is now at the left defensive end position.
On 3rd and 1, flags fly. Again, there appeared to be some sort of movement. See who this one goes against. And this time it'll be on the offense, so it'll set up the 3rd and 6. And again, these guys haven't played together for too long, Keith, as we see a little quick jump right here. So timing is an issue.
You know, timing is an issue, getting used to each other. And I can tell you, Don, that, you know, from coaching this game last year for Rhode Island, 2 weeks isn't a lot of preparation time. You know, this is like a scrimmage for them, what we used to there in the high school season after 2 weeks of work where you're trying to work the kinks. So, but they are all-stars, and they will rise to the occasion. You'll see them smooth out the bumps as they go along.
All-star coaching staffs also on both sides. Tim Cohen from LaSalle Academy is the head coach of the Rhode Island squad this year. LaSalle coming off another great season. 3rd down, 6 yards to go again to the fullback. He'll come up short of the first down. Knocked down, so it'll be 4th and short, and the first decision of the game for the Connecticut sideline.
Well, another belly, the same exact play. It was a repeat of the the 3rd down play. And it seems like Rhode Island's linebackers between Sean McGowan and Connor Galvin are playing very well getting to the football. And the nice thing about what I can see in Rhode Island's secondary is their defensive backs are getting into the flow as well, making a lot of tackles. Here's Don Marcone, assistant coach at Bishop Hendricken High School, former head coach at Pilgrim High School.
And we get our first timeout on the field. Connecticut will take the timeout. Rob Samazik is the head coach of the Connecticut squad this year, and his first decision on the sideline coming up right there. There is Mike Penta, the big bruising fullback. Connecticut's got a lot of talent in that state.
They certainly do, and you know, Notre Dame West Haven is a great school and has a great tradition as well. They won the state championship in Connecticut this past year, and they did it in convincing fashion, being a very good football team. So you have a lot of quality players here tonight, and I think that you're going to see the athletes start to take over, because speed usually wins this football game, and Connecticut certainly has plenty of it, and Rhode Island is probably stocked just as well.
And Tim Cohen, he hasn't lost a football game in a long time. He's got quite a win streak going.
Oh boy, I'll tell you, between Tim's career at Salve Regina, where he was an outstanding head coach there, and what he's done at LaSalle Academy in just 2 short years, it's phenomenal. Tim has always been a great coach, and you know, you watch Tim too. There's not too many highs or lows. He's a pretty level-headed coach on the sidelines. He always gets the most out of his teams, and you really have to tip your hat to him, because LaSalle hadn't enjoyed a great deal of success until he got there, and he's won 2 straight state championships, and everybody thinks he's the odds-on favorite to win 3 this year.
And of course, he went from Division III school, a very successful program at Salve Regina, to LaSalle, and partly to coach his son Liam, who was a sophomore this past season, an outstanding sport. 4th down, appears to be about 4 yards to go for a first down. Hairston on the keeper, fouls his way. A first down yardage. Connecticut keeps the drive alive.
Well, Connecticut that time, Don, lined up in a wishbone formation, and they just ran an off-tackle power to that side of the field. And I'll tell you, Rhode Island did a great job of stuffing at the line of scrimmage. It was Hairston's second effort that got him the first down.
One more look for you.
You know, the difference there is great running backs know the game of leverage. And if you watch him lower his shoulders and keep his legs going on contact, that's the difference between a first down for the other team and a first down for Connecticut.
He'll be in the Big Ten next year. Going to Iowa will be Hairston again. It appeared Rhode Island jumped.
You know, it's difficult, Don. You're in a football all-star game, and the kids on the defensive line are excited to play. And unfortunately, you know, you teach kids on the defensive line that they don't react to any sound. They only react to movement of the ball. And I'm sure the coaches have drilled their kids this week, but I'm sure it's the adrenaline that's kicking in right now that the nose guard goes offsides with the ball right in front of him. But I'm sure it'll smooth out as the game goes on. Excellent
weather we have for this one, too. You may be seeing this game on tape delay, and it's being played in late June here in Pierce Field, and it's a beautiful Saturday summer night. Hairston bulldogs his way deep into Rhode Island territory inside the 10-yard line. Looks like it'll be first goal to go, and he still hasn't gone down.
Wow, they never did bring him to the ground. It's Connecticut has found a comfort level in this wishbone offense right now, and they're just running a basic off-tackle power play with leading the other two running backs in the backfield through the hole, and Justice is doing a great job of keeping his legs going on contact, which is the difference.
One more look. You'll see he'll carry a number of Rhode Island defenders with him.
And you can see by that the two lead backs that are blocking for Justice are big kids, obviously, for the state of Connecticut. And that's a difficult thing for the Rhode Island kids to stand up to. When they get in against a power game, it's difficult for them to handle.
First and 10, they spotted at the 11. Keeper by the quarterback. Around the corner. And he is touchdown bound. The quarterback keeper results in a touchdown for Jason Manson, and Connecticut gets on the scoreboard first.
Another great call by the coaching staff at Connecticut. It was a naked bootleg off of the power play that we had talked about that they had run so many times leading up to that play. And when you put Jason Manson in the open field, he's tough to bring down. Great fake here by Jason, and you can see that everybody's fooled by Rhode Island, and that's a difficult thing for Shafiq George and Moses Brown to be able to make that play in the open field against a kid headed for the University of Iowa.
Extra point attempt coming up for Connecticut. Under 6 minutes into this game, they jump on top first. That one conversion attempt no good, so the score, Connecticut 6. Rhode Island about to get possession of the ball for the first time.
Well, you can see that it's going to be a difficult night if Connecticut wants to run the ball downhill at Rhode Island. They're going to have to certainly make some adjustments. And honestly, with the defense that they're forced to play by rules of the game, it's tough to make any substantial adjustments. So they're just going to have to get better at it and put bigger people on the field.
And some of those rules, we'll show you graphics about those later. But so, what are some of the differences that you might see from a normal football game?
Well, when we started this game, Don, 4 years ago, we really kind of mirrored the rules that's been used in the Massachusetts Shriners game, that they have to play a 50 defense, which means a 5-man defensive line with 2 linebackers. And there's no blitzing in the game. There's no looping or slanting by the defensive lineman. You have to play what we consider a vanilla defense, and you have to keep 5 people on the defensive line. So you have to make most of your adjustments through your secondary players, your 4 guys in the secondary. So it really promotes an offensive game. There's no question about it. And that's what people come here tonight to see. They want to see the ball in the end zone. They want to see the athletes play. And nobody comes here to see a 3-0 game. They want to see the ball put in the end zone and the scoreboard lit up.
And Hairston, one of those supreme athletes indeed. He was the main cog on that first drive for Connecticut.
And he was, and the interesting thing, as we talked about earlier, we haven't seen Tim Washington yet, so
exactly.
Rhode Island's got to get ready to play football.
Short kick taken by Orlando Johnson out of Rogers High School, and he is stuffed on contact. Again, Keith, let's graphically take a look right now at some of those rule differentials for you right now, and some of the things that you might keep in mind if you're coaching at home and say, why didn't they do this? Well, there are some reasons for some certain rules in this game.
Yeah, there's certain things built into you. Can't run any unbalanced lines. Like I mentioned, that there's no stunning or blitzing. The linebacker in the secondary, they must line up from a certain depth in the ball. The linebackers have to be head up on the guards and be 5 or more yards off the ball, as well as the secondary people. But there's different rules in short yardage situations, which we'll cover later.
Joseph Brito, quarterback for Rhode Island, first series, hands off to Orlando Johnson. And he picks up a couple yards on the play.
Orlando's an all-stater out of Rogers High School, and head coach Jim Brower, and also an all-state track athlete as well. He's quite a player. He's not a big kid, but he can run, and I'm sure he'll mix it up tonight.
Leo Morgan among those making the tackle for Connecticut, defensive end on a Bloomfield.
Rhode Island's going to use two different types of offense tonight. They're going to use a shotgun offense, probably would feature Shane Dinnigan at Burrillville High School, and also the wing T offense that Tim Cohen uses at LaSalle. Right now, they're in their wing T mode.
Brito rolling out, the lefty, heaves it downfield, has a receiver. In fact, two Rhode Island receivers were in the area. Dan Oakland out there, as well as number 24, E.J. DeWitt.
Well, that was a simple waggle off of the wing T buck sweep play where Joe rolled to his left, and because Joe's a left-hander, they like to roll him to his left. Unfortunately, he got a little bit of pressure early and couldn't get it off early because Danny Oakland was open right away. I think he was held a little bit in the secondary, but got away with it. But I'm sure you're going to see a lot of that waggle or bootleg pass thrown tonight by Joey Brito.
3rd and 9. Long down distance play for the Rhode Island All-Stars. Also in the backfield for Rhode Island, number 8, Ed Picrolo out of LaSalle. Averaged 12 yards a carry for the Rams this past season. Brito under pressure, rolling out, flag down. Brito stays up though, eventually gets out of bounds. Have to check to see what the penalty mark is about.
I don't know. I'd say preliminarily it might be a face mask. Usually that's a defensive penalty. As he was chasing Joey going to his left. You know, it was a 3-step drop play that they just ran, and I think that, unfortunately, Brian Harrell from LaSalle was open early. They just couldn't give him the ball because Joey was flushed out of the pocket.
See if we can pick up what the infraction is here in the replay.
Can't tell from the replay. Hard to say.
And the officials, a little bit of conference on the far sideline. As much as they're talking to the Connecticut coaches, you would assume that it would be against Connecticut, and that's why they're not too pleased right now.
There's Rob Samazik, the head coach at Maloney High School in Meriden. He's quite a gentleman. If you ever have an opportunity to meet him, he's a great ambassador for the game of football, and he's fought some personal battles in his own life with his health the last year, and this will be the last game that Rob will coach as a high school coach because of his health, so we're real happy that this is his crowning game of his career.
5-down penalty, replay to down.
All right, so they're going to say there was a blitz on that. That was one of the rules that were instituted for this All-Star game, so it's a replay of down, not an automatic first down.
Oh, yeah. Yep, number 48 from Connecticut definitely went on the blitz. It would be one thing if he reacted to the flow of the play, but he was on the move right from the get-go, which is against the rules. And it's to provide, as I said once before, it's to provide an offensive game. And it's great that the officials picked up on that because this is different for the officials working under these new rules as well.
That was Don Madigan from New Britain called for the blitz. So it's 3rd down and 3 yards to go for Rhode Island. Much better situation to try to get a first. Picrolo takes the handoff and dropped immediately. Good penetration by the interior defense of the blue-suited Connecticut All-Stars. It'll be 4th down, and looks like Rhode Island will punt.
Well, it looked like just a simple little fullback trap that's run out of the wing T offense to Eddie Picrolo, who's run it 1,000 times for Tim Cohen's LaSalle team during the course of his career. Unfortunately, it looked like the trap block didn't occur to the weak side where they were trying to run the ball.
Number 1, Maurice Humphreys, back deep to receive, as is Deja Durant to boot the ball away for Rhode Island. Be number 15, Dave Murphy out of North Kingstown. Obviously, you're very familiar with Dave.
Yeah, Dave was an all-state runner and just a one-year football player who averaged about 41 yards a kick this year. He's headed to Norwich University in the fall.
Maurice Humphreys, Berlin High, steps in to make the fair catch. Ball on the 36-yard line. Good field position for Connecticut to start their second offensive drive. Halfway through the first half, Connecticut leads Rhode Island 6-0.
Well, it looks like they put a flag on the field, but the head official, Tim Conway, waved it off, Don. And it looks like Mr. Tim Washington's in the game for Connecticut to start this offensive series.
Yeah, you'll see Connecticut has so much talent. You'll see a whole new set of offensive skill players out here for this second series. Although it looks like Hairston is coming back out for this one. Yep, and Hairston noticed Washington's in the game. I don't think we're in there at the same time. So back to the sideline. There is Tim Washington, kid that you could be hearing about for years to come with the type of talent he has.
Now they're going to a shotgun offense here.
And we have a penalty flag down on the field. The quarterback is Ryan Kuhn out of New Fairfield High.
Give me the dead ball. Encroachment.
Third time Rhode Island has been whistled for encroachment so far. This one.
Unfortunately, Damian Kendall of Bishop Hendricken got caught offsides on that particular play. And like I said, you teach your kids to look at the football because that's the best indicator of when to get off on defense. And I'm sure that being a defensive end and seeing a shotgun formation, he was in a hurry to get up the field.
1st and 5 now for Kuhn. Quick pitch to the outside. The catch is made out there for Connecticut. Number 12, Kyle Jones out of High School with the grab, very close to a 1st down.
Well, Kyle ran just a little simple hook route there for 1st down yardage, it appears. And, you know, with a quarterback in the shotgun formation, it times up very well. Ryan Kuhn's a very strong-armed kid. That's a nice tackle there.
Tackle made for Rhode Island by Stephen Robinson out of Shea High School.
People probably remember Steve from his career at Shea, where they played in 2 Super Bowls consecutively in his junior and senior years and won the championship this past year. He was a quarterback in high school. Tonight he's playing defensive back for the Rhode Island All-Stars.
Very close to first down. Appears to be just barely short, so it'll be 2nd down in inches, which is really a coach's dream to have this situation.
Especially at midfield, Don. You know, this leaves a lot of options open to you. You see a lot of coaches in this situation will run some type of play-action pass to try to catch you sleeping, thinking it's going to be a run play, but there's no deception here. They're lined up in the shotgun again. They're going to feature this formation, I believe, down the field.
Kuhn takes the pitch, pump fake, under pressure, lets it up and lofts it out of bounds.
Well, it appeared that Rhode Island's got some pressure on by Casey Factor from West Warwick High School. They're running a balanced formation with 2 receivers split to each side, and they just ran 4 straight go routes on that, what we call a seam pass. And because of the pressure, it forced him to get rid of the ball a little bit sooner than he anticipated with Factor on it.
Did a nice job splitting that. He was double teamed up front too and just muscled his way right through.
Casey's a great player. He's headed for Bryant and Jim Maselli's Bulldogs next year.
3rd down in inches. Kuhn again pitches it out. Catch is made on the far side for 1st down yardage. Over midfield. Good strong run after the catch by number 22, Lewis Kratz out of New Britain.
Well, it looks like, you know, Rob Samazik, the head coach from Connecticut, certainly thought that he was in 4-down territory because he was throwing on 3rd and inches, which could have forced a punt situation on 4th down. But a great play by Lewis Kratz. Lewis is from New Britain High School. Jack Cochran is his head coach, and they won the state championship this year in Jack's 1st year at New Britain. People might remember Jack when he was at Bloomfield High School in Connecticut, winning a bunch of state championships there as well prior to going to New Britain.
1st and 10. Kuhn, quick pitch to Kratz again. A little less yardage. And Cochran and yourself were 2 of the guys that really started this game going. Got it going a little bit.
Yeah, interesting. It was Jack's phone call to me years ago, maybe about 6 years ago, that they used to play the All-Star game in Connecticut during associated with their Nutmeg games. Jack was looking for a different venue because they had canceled the game, and we started formulating this game maybe 6 to 7 years ago, and he was one of the prime movers to make this happen. It's great to see that it's reality here in its 4th year of existence.
Nice crowd here at Pierce Field. Kuhn rolls out, outside, throws downfield, has a receiver all out. Just wide and off the fingertips of Mike Pierce, number 25 out of Glastonbury.
A great effort by Mike, too. He laid out horizontally to try to make that catch. He had, if you notice, Ryan had the hitch open, the little hook on the outside open to his number 1 receiver, and just barely missed that throw to Mike.
And it's a perfect ball right there because the only person that's going to get it was his receiver. Kuhn, all-conference quarterback. And he's also headed to Cornell University.
Obviously a smart kid as well.
3rd down, 7 yards to go. Snap goes over Kuhn. Loose ball in the backfield. Kuhn, can he pick it up? He falls on it smartly, but a huge loss on the play. Covering up Rhode Island, Damian Kendall out of Hendricken.
Yeah, you know, too bad of a mistake on the snap for Connecticut, but once again, as I had said before, defensive ends play a large part in this game, and Damian Kendall had a great job rushing from his right end defensive end position. And what happens in the philosophy of this game, Don, is that offensive tackles have to block defensive ends, which is a very difficult task with the foot speed of a Damian Kendall.
25-yard loss on the play. 4th and 32, so no doubt punting situation as Kuhn can't make the catch, but He was smart. The only thing he was worried about was covering that ball over.
No, I agree, Don. That was a big play that Ryan did recover that ball, because that's going to give Rhode Island great field position.
Punt gets away. Good pressure by Rhode Island. There goes Rhode Island. Charlie Gibbs gets to the near sideline, up near midfield before dragged down by Humphrey. But Rhode Island, great field position to start their second drive.
Rhode Island fans know Charlie Gibbs very well, a two-time All-Stater out of LaSalle Academy, and a great, great player on both sides of the ball, but most notably as a defensive back.
Ball will be swatted on the 48-yard line.
Charlie has a great set of moves here to get himself free. You can see that the ball's in the outside arm, which gives him his inside arm free to ward off defenders, and I think Connecticut might have gotten away with a face mask call on that one as well.
Maurice Humphreys, the man, had his hands up high on Gibbs. Brito remains the quarterback of the second series. Quick pitch to the outside. Rhode Island with running room, and Rhode Island will have a touchdown. E.J. DeWitt from Rogers High School evens this game at 6.
A great play. That's one of the famed plays on Tim Cohen's LaSalle offense. It's a quick pitch. Went to E.J. DeWitt of Rogers High School. He got one block on the perimeter to the outside and cleared the field. What a great call.
E.J. DeWitt, an outstanding all-around athlete in the state of Rhode Island, has given Rhodey a 6-6 tie with the conversion to come.
E.J.'s a great kid and a three-sport athlete at Rogers in basketball and track as well. It's a great pitch by Joey Brito, but you can see the key block out there by Orlando Johnson, his teammate at Rogers High School.
E.J.'s father, one of the all-time guys. It's a fumble on the snap. Rhode Island see if they can improvise again, conversion, so we remain tied at 6. We're saying E.J.'s father was one of the all-time great basketball players in the state of Rhode Island, one of the leading scorers at Bryant College.
Great gene pool there in that family, and E.J. is a very, very nice young man. I've had a chance to deal with him over the last 2 weeks, and I've obviously competed against him. But this is a great run here. There wasn't much out there once he cleared after Orlando's block that freed him up on the perimeter.
Big answer for Rhode Island. Just when Connecticut was moving, a bad snap forced Connecticut to punt, and Rhode Island immediately takes advantage. 54 left to go in the first quarter, and we are tied at 6.
You know, Don, some of the problems that you do have during 2 weeks of preparation for a game like this is special teams. You can see that both teams have both had miscues on both of their point after touchdowns. One on Connecticut with a bad snap, and here probably not so much a bad snap in Rhode Island's case, but more of a case that they didn't block it real well. And that's probably, you know, it's the third phase of the game between offense and defense. Special teams is the third. It plays just every bit of importance of the other two, but it probably gets the least amount of attention in a 2-week preparation as you're getting ready for a contest like this.
We're tied up at 6.
E.J. DeWitt. For Ernie.
4:54 to go in the first quarter.
Can't tell you what the J's for, but I know named after his father, Ernie DeWitt.
One would assume junior.
Chip off the old block, and it's a chip on the kickoff, and smartly fielded by the lineman for Connecticut.
You know, that kickoff, Don, that Jason Maeli is executing for Rhode Island is something they did all year long. It's just a pooch kick, and Connecticut is smart enough to fair catch the ball because they have the opportunity to do it, which gives them great field position. But if that ball's kicked a little bit higher, it gives Rhode Island a better opportunity to make that play and recover a fumble if it hits the ground, which is a live ball.
And you kind of play it a couple of ways. You start to see if Connecticut starts to pinch up the return men a little bit, and maybe you boot it deeper, or is it you kind of play off what Connecticut's maybe setting up for? Or?
They certainly could. I'm sure that they'll move people up a little bit in the second half.
Hand up. Rhode Island defense all sorts of fired up after the Rhode Island offensive touchdown.
Well, we've gone back to the same set of plays that Connecticut ran in the first series. It's kind of a power offense executing a belly play once again. And it seems like they have two separate packages as Rhode Island does coming into this game.
Jason Manson back in to run the show here for the third offensive series. Scored the first Connecticut touchdown of the game. Tim Washington takes the handoff. Tim Washington goes nowhere. Rhode Island not impressed with his credentials. Drop him to the ground. It'll be third down and 9 to go.
Great play. Eddie Picola from LaSalle Academy filled that hole. That was a simple counter play. Simple counter play where you can see that they pulled the right guard and right tackle on the trap play. And what happened there was it was a great job of defeating the trap block by the tackle to that side for Rhode Island, and Picola filled to help out.
Third Third down and 9, passing situation for Manson. One back in the backfield. Brian Lapierre. Manson rolling out. Dumps it over the middle. Picked off. Nearly on, but the signal that it was no catch. Tomi Okofalami out of LaSalle nearly came up with the pick.
It was a great play. It was great coverage by Rhode Island in the secondary. They had all phases of that sprint pass covered. Connecticut had 3 receivers to the wide side of the field, flooded the zone, and Rhode Island did a tremendous job. Obviously got great pressure on the quarterback as well with Greg Daniel. But Tomi Okofalami was a standout for LaSalle in the last 2 football games of his career. I believe that he had 5 interceptions on both games on East Providence, between the semifinals and the finals against East Providence.
Connecticut short a player, hustling somebody out on the field. We've got to give some credit, too, for breaking up the interception attempt. We will have a flag, and that'll be against Connecticut, so they'll have to reboot the ball.
The momentum has certainly changed, Don. You can see that Rhode Island was gaining confidence after the first defensive series. They certainly got it put to them a little bit when Connecticut came down and scored right away. But the touchdown by E.J. DeWitt has put some confidence in them. They're starting to play better defense. You can see that Owen Koch from Mount Pleasant played the defensive tackle position that stopped that counter play earlier. They're starting to feel a little bit good about themselves, and this is going to be an interesting game now.
And I imagine this game's a lot about confidence, and just coming into this game with Rhode Island having a 2-game win streak, even though these kids have never faced Connecticut kids as the kick goes low, they've got to know that Rhode Island teams can play with these Connecticut All-Stars.
Yeah, it's true. You know, with an all-star situation, too, you're not really familiar with the kids that you're playing with because you haven't played with them for 4 years like you have your high school teammates. But these kids, I think, especially Rhode Island, might have a slight advantage in that area. They're from a region that 45 minutes you can get to the next town. These kids are a little bit more familiar with each other than the Connecticut kids are, just based on the geography of the state of Connecticut. But these kids have gone out together. They've gone out to dinner together. They've got to know each other. And give credit to the coaching staff and the leaders of this group.
Few of the top players in Connecticut, not on the Connecticut squad, and also for Rhode Island. Will Blackman, perhaps the top player in the state of Rhode Island last year, was headed to Boston College, a splendid athlete and football player. Shane Dinnigan is in at quarterback. Quick pitch to Brian Carroll on the outside. Carroll, one move over midfield, deep into Connecticut territory.
Well, here's your shotgun package from Rhode Island with Shane Dinnigan of Burrillville High School at the quarterback position. He throws the hitch route to Brian Harrell. Brian Harrell is a great receiver out of LaSalle Academy. Brian was certainly Liam Cohen's favorite target during the course of the year for LaSalle this year, Liam being Tim Cohen's son, and a great quarterback in his own right, a second-team All-Stater.
Harrell, 8 touchdown catches during the regular season. That one covered 35 yards. Harrell, another guy that's used to winning, coming from LaSalle Academy.
He might be. You know, we conducted a scouting combine when we selected this team in terms of speed and strength and size, and Brian was probably maybe one of the best pure athletes that was at that combine in terms of his jumping ability and his speed. He could flat out run, and you could see that how he accelerated away from the defense after the catch.
Dinnigan out of Burrillville, a couple straight years going to a Super Bowl, takes the snap, looks down the field, trying to get it over the top to Harrell, and Brian ends up being a defensive back on the play to knock it away.
Great defensive play by the Connecticut defensive back. He was right with Brian all the way, and there really wasn't much for Shane to do there. And as you know, when you throw a ball like that, which is a go route or a fly, you want to throw the ball to the outside shoulder of the receiver so that the receiver is the only one who has an opportunity to catch it. He threw it a little bit inside, but Brian did a great job to break up the potential interception, which you don't want when you're down here in the other team's 50-yard zone.
Mike Burnett out of West Haven with the breakup there. Second down and 10. Again from the gun. Quick pitch comes to the near sideline. Reception made by Andrew Shaw.
Well, that's the battery that made Burrillville famous this year. That's Shane Dinnigan to Andrew Shaw, and Andrew Shaw was a first-team All-Stater wide receiver, too, for Mike Hauser's team. And you can see that Dave Braz, the LaSalle center, who's snapping for the shotgun, is doing a fantastic job as well. They were concerned that Dave had got hurt and hurt his knee during the course of this week, that he wouldn't be able to play, but he said he'd play one more game and deal with the doctor after it's over.
Shaw, 12 touchdown catches. He ends up over there in the hard track. Third down, 4 yards to go, probably 2-down territory. High snap for Colo, gets it though, trying to bust some room to the outside. First down yardage around the end, very close to giving Rhode Island the lead. Rhodey on top, 12-6.
Great run by Eddie Percolo. It was a great setup and a great call by Tim Cohen as well. They had thrown the ball on every successive play out of the shotgun. This time they ran a little draw scheme out of it, and Eddie Percolo did a great job of getting himself to the outside and getting in the end zone.
One more look at it, nearly a busted play off the snap.
Well, it was a draw trap, as you can see, and the trapper was Chris Flossie from Bishop Hendricken. And it was executed to make it look like pass and ran the trap to that side. And Eddie Percolo, although he's a big kid and obviously a very strong kid, has great speed for his size and strength.
Rhode Island came out looking for a 2-point conversion, and they'll call a timeout and regroup on the sideline.
Well, that confidence that we talked about earlier, Don, has taken over. Rhode Island is feeling very good about themselves right now. And the shotgun package has certainly worked very well for them. I would be very surprised to see if Connecticut doesn't come back with their power offense. The only reason they might not is because they're in an alternate series situation with Washington and Harrison at the tailbacks.
29 yards for Percolo on the touchdown run. Again, he averaged 12 yards a carry out of the fullback spot for Tim Cohen's team. They had so many weapons this year.
Boy, they did. And I think 12 yards a carry, I think my team helped him along the way. But Eddie is a solid kid, and I know Tim regards him as one of the top leaders he's ever coached at both the collegiate and the high school level, and an outstanding kid.
Percolo, the lone back in the backfield with Dinnigan.
Rhode Island's going to go.
Rhode Island will go for the 2-point conversion. Dinnigan, keeper, and comes up short of the end zone. Conversion fails, but Rhode Island back on top. 12-6. They used to be on top in this game, having won the last 2 years over Connecticut.
Well, nice job by Shane Dinnigan in his first series in there. Executed the throw game very well, delivered the ball to his receivers the way he was supposed to. And as I said, a great call by Tim Cohen to get Eddie Percolo in the end zone. Connecticut did a great job with the 2-point conversion. Rhode Island ran 3 receivers to the right side, couldn't find anybody open and forced Shane to run, and did a great job in terms of pursuit.
Football fans, score big with Cox Digital Telephone. Prices start as low as $11.95 per month and includes free call forwarding. Call 1-888-333-2169 today. And there you see one of the trophies that will be handed out post-game. And so the victors will go the spoils in this one. And it's over on the Rhode Island sideline, fittingly, because they've got possession of the hardware for the last couple of years.
Between that trophy and state pride, that's what they play for right there. The winning team gets to take that one home.
Low pooch kick. And again, fielded on the sideline. Same starting position for Connecticut on all 3 drives. Jay Maelli with a little pooch.
Well, I'm assuming that Tim Cohen's philosophy on that is that he doesn't want to kick deep to some speedy receivers who might be able to clear the field and take it all the way back. And honestly, they're kicking off to a kid who's probably an offense or a defensive lineman from Connecticut who's not used to handling the football, which could cause a potential fumble down the road.
And here,
third Connecticut quarterback of the game is checked in for this one.
Connecticut.
Neil Chowder, grip. And again, that Rhode Island defense fired up.
It is, and I'll tell you, Owen Koch from the right tackle position, Corey Baxter, the nose guard from North Kingstown, and Sean McGowan, the right inside linebacker. You're not fooled by that counter cut.
You ready, Jamal?
Second down, 10 yards to go. Johnson, the quarterback. Hairston's back in his backfield. Split time so far with Washington back there. Mike Pinta, the fullback, number 40. Running out of the eye. Quick pitch to Hairston. Hit it in stride. Defense for Rhode Island led by Connor Galvin out of Portsmouth.
And boy, did Connor make a play on that one. He did exactly what you needed to do from that inside linebacker position. It was Phil working downhill, made the great hit on Hairston, and got excellent help from his teammates as well, and especially Christian Preston out of East Providence.
And Hairston, after having much success in that first series, realizes he's in for a ball game for himself. Owen Koch heading to the sideline out of Mount Pleasant.
You know, the signature of Tim Cohen's teams on defense at both Salve and LaSalle is that they're fast and they run downhill with the football. And this Rhode Island All-Star team is no different than teams that Tim coaches.
3rd and 7, just over a minute to go in the first quarter. Rhode Island with the lead. Heavy pressure. Johnson escapes. up the middle. He's eventually dragged down, though, short of a first down. McGowan among those in on the pressure.
Well, they got pressure right away on that particular play and forced him from the pocket. And the left defensive end, Jamal Blackson from Rogers, kept him in the pocket as you see him scramble here, which forced him back to Mike White, which you see coming from left to right to make this tackle. It's great hustle by Mike, number 54, making that play, but Jamal Blackson made it happen by keeping him in the pocket.
4th down and about 4 yards to go. Hairston stays in the game here. He'll be covering the punt on the low side of the screen. Have to be careful with an athlete like that still on the field. Short kick, nearly blocked, and it is blocked. Piece by Rhode Island. Still goes well downfield. And
too bad for Rhode Island. We got a penalty down here. I think we got a face mask potential penalty on Damian Kindle from Bishop Henrican on the punter. And the sad part about it was after the kick. It didn't need to happen, which would give Rhode Island an opportunity to get themselves in a three-score difference.
I guess they're saying there was no actual contact with the kick, so it will be a first down for Connecticut.
That's it.
A lot of extracurricular stuff going on out there, too. You know, and the guys realize they haven't played football for a while, and they're starting to pop each other out there pretty good.
Yeah, which is too bad, because this game is about sportsmanship and it's about respecting the other state, because it's going to be a game that's going to continue for many years to come. But that play, there was a partial block on that particular punt, which should have kept the Rhode Island players off of the punter after that. But unfortunately, we had an error, and these are the kind of plays that turn games around.
Ball on the 45-yard line into Rhode Island territory. Could be the last play of the first quarter. Johnson signaling to Sanchez on the low part of the field. Handoff to Kirsten. He bulldogs his way deeper into Rhode Island territory, inside the 40, end of the first quarter. Rhode Island has the lead on the Connecticut All-Stars, 12-6. Rhode Island coming from behind to take the lead in this one. We'll be back to Pierce Field for second quarter action as the Rhode Island All-Stars are taking on the Connecticut All-Stars for the 4th year. Rhode Island trying to protect a 2-game win streak. We'll be back in a moment.
You need more NASCAR. Rev up the NASCAR Winston Cup Series telecast with 5 in-car channels of race coverage and real-time in-car data. Now you can switch from car to car, ride along, and listen in from start to finish. Only on In Demand. Get it all on digital cable with the NASCAR in-car package. Call today to order. Order the half-season package now from Cox Digital Cable. Somewhere out there, your team is taking the court, and you can be there coast to coast. Now, Sports in Demand brings your team home. With WNBA Season Pass on digital cable, you can choose from up to 80 out-of-market games during the regular season. It's like having your own personal WNBA control room. Call now to lock in a special low price. Don't miss your chance to order this ultimate basketball package. Get WNBA Season Pass on Sports in Demand. Call now to order.
That's the bike path, and East Providence, Rhode Island goes right down all the way down the bay, and a lot of people enjoying a beautiful Saturday afternoon in late June here in the state of Rhode Island. Especially if you're a Rhode Island football fan, you're enjoying it because your team leads 12-6. E.J. DeWitt, the first touchdown for Rhode Island, number 24 there.
Well, I think, Don, we had a penalty while we were away during the quarter change. It appeared to be a 5-minute penalty for Rhode Island, which gave Connecticut a first down. Looks like the ball's on about the 24-yard.
And the officials still working things out right now. And you can see they're getting the captains together because they've noticed what we just said before. Things have been chippy the last 4 or 5 plays. And I think he's just saying, come on, guys, this is an all-star game. You know, let's leave the unsportsmanlike stuff at home.
I'm certain that that's what he's trying to do too, and you know, the officials, give them all the credit in the world. In both states, in the 4 years of this game, they've never been paid to work the game. They do it on a volunteer basis for the good of the game, and they want a good game as well as to the fans.
And it's tough not to get fired up. You're out there popping somebody's trying to hit you as hard as they can. As Hairston's hit pretty hard in the middle. Tackle for Rhode Island by Matt Richards out of LaSalle.
Richards on in on the stop.
Matt's an all-stater too, and a great player for Tim as well. You know, I think we have 9 LaSalle players here, and they all will contribute at various times during the course of the evening. But Matt made a great play from his nose guard position to snuff that play out.
Watch Matt, number 57 on this play, first team All-State selection heading to the Coast Guard Academy.
What a great play by Matt. He beat the down block by the left guard from Connecticut to get across his face to make that play. That's a rare play that a nose guard can make.
Second down and 10, and in unison, Rhode Island points to offending offensive lineman for Connecticut. Should be a 5-yard penalty.
Well, he just moved his hand in the backfield, unfortunately for him. He moved his hand, which set up a situation that gets him a second and long situation. You could see his left hand move out of his stance.
Yeah, he seemed to go with the quarterback. He started to took Neil Johnson, leaned that way, and Pence has started to progress with the play a little bit too early. So second down, 15. Johnson on the option. Late pitch it to Hairston. Rhode Island, another gang tackle for a loss on the play.
Dangerous pitch at that late part of the play, Don. You know, when you're in the option, it's certainly hard to install the option in an all-star game in 2 weeks of preparation. But that was a late pitch that could have been a potential fumble. And you can see when he works down the field that Greg Daniel from LaSalle forces the pitch. Great job by Tim Burbridge coming out of his secondary position. And once again, the inside linebacker play of Sean McGowan and Connor Galvin.
Rhode Island's defense after that first series has given almost nothing to Connecticut. Most of the yardage has been on a couple of penalties here. Johnson, fake to Hairston, does give it to Hairston. Comes up well short. Dead ball. It'll be 4th down and a long way to go for the Connecticut All-Stars. And have to see if they decide to go for it here on 4th down, being pretty deep in Rhode Island territory.
Once again, Don, Matt Richards of LaSalle Academy made that happen. That was a draw play for Connecticut to Hairston. And Matt Richards, although he didn't make the tackle, slowed up Hairston enough to get pursuit from his defensive teammates, because a draw play, if given enough time, and a running back finds a seam, can find its way into the end zone.
Hairston had 19 of those yards on the first series. A long 45-yard field goal attempt by Matt Nuzzi out of Trumbull coming up. The spot is down. The kick is up, and it is good.
Tip your hat to that young man. That is one fantastic kick under these conditions. To hit a 45-yarder in an all-star game is quite an accomplishment.
Matt Nuzzi, 45-yard field goal gets Connecticut 3 points closer.
Great hold there by Jason Manson again, and that had plenty of foot on it. That would have been good from 52. I watched him in pregame, and he was knocking him down from 50 and 55 during the pregame. And you got to tip your hats once again to Rob Samosic to have the guts to go for a field goal in that situation, knowing he had the strength of the leg of the kicker.
All-state kicker, and he'll be heading to UConn, so staying in the state of Connecticut.
Coach Randy Etzel's a lucky man to have that.
12-9 now the score. The penalty cost them 3 points on that series.
All considered, though, Don, not a moral defeat for Rhode Island as well, giving up only a field goal after that great field position that Connecticut took over with following the penalty on the punt. Be interesting to see if Rhode Island now, Don, comes back to their shotgun attack, which they had so much success with in the last series.
Back deep for Rhode Island, Orlando Johnson, as well as Teddy Awa. That'll be Awa taking the kickoff on about the 16-yard line. Has some dancing room up the middle, one spin, and eventually goes down around the 31.
Well, Rhode Island ran a middle wedge. And looks like we have a penalty out there as well. Looks like it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct on one of the teams. But Teddy did a great job of getting himself up inside the wedge, but a wedge is a play that needs to be hit at full speed if it's going to have any effectiveness. And unfortunately, Teddy never got himself to full speed because of the pressure of the Connecticut kick coverage team.
And number 2 at that penalty, it looks like here, you watch the wedge up the middle. Awa, good spin move to get free, and then the extracurricular activity at the end of the play. Called on Leo Morgan out of Bloomfield, 15-yarder.
Which is too bad. You know, that, like I said, the philosophy of this game is to develop a healthy rivalry between the two teams, and some of the 15-yarders that Connecticut accrued last year during last year's All-Star game certainly hurt them during the course of that game, and you just hope that cooler heads will prevail and the kids will do the right thing, and we can stop seeing those types of penalties during the course of the evening.
Ball on the 45-yard line. Hairston on the bench getting a blow because his defense on the field. Brito back in the game for Rhode Island. Handoff for Colo. Absolutely nothing up the middle.
Well, Rhode Island is back in their wing tee set. And this time they tried to run the complement play to Eddie Percolo of the play that E.J. DeWitt scored on earlier. And this time it's the give to the fullback off of that same motion to Orlando Johnson. And unfortunately for Rhode Island, the Connecticut defense did a great job, and especially their nose guard, of snuffing that out.
Tim Cohen, the head coach for this one out of LaSalle Academy, but a full staff. You know, a lot of people really helping out, a lot of assistants. You know, even the guys who aren't working actually on the sidelines, I know a lot of them are helping out in different ways with this game.
It really is a full Coaches Association effort to put on a game like this, and kudos go to Bob Murray, the president of Rhode Island Football Coaches Association. We'll probably talk to at halftime. But these coaches, there's 12 of them in number from Rhode Island, and as well as the 10 from Connecticut. They're volunteer coaches. They aren't paid anything to give up 2 weeks of their summer time to create a game of this magnitude. And it's great for them too, and I know being involved myself last year, they get to know coaches from other schools that they work with closely, develop friendships that'll last a long time, and also as coaches do, they pick each other's brain to help their own programs.
Another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Connecticut. Ball on the 40-yard line. Brito dropping back, 1st and 10. Dropped down for a loss on the play.
Too bad he was dropped, because he looked like he had Brian Harrell open over here on the left sideline early on in the play, but he got a little bit of pressure there and obviously had to eat the ball and did a great job because the Connecticut player was trying to cause a fumble on that, and Joey did a good job of covering up the ball.
Andre Clayton, the tackle.
A nice play there by the Connecticut defensive line.
2nd and 13. Brito, quick pitch to Johnson on the outside. One block, huge block downfield. Springs Johnson for a Rhode Island touchdown.
There you go, Don. The same play that E.J. DeWitt scored on. His Rogers teammate, Orlando Johnson. Joey Brito with a quick pitch to Orlando down the right sideline, and when he turns on the Jets, he's hard to catch.
And we got to look at this one. It may be E.J. DeWitt, his teammate from Rogers, who came up with a key block on the outside. Watch the top of the screen. DeWitt clears somebody out.
You're right, E.J. DeWitt. The irony of that is that you have 2 Rogers kids that both blocked for each other to put each other in the end zone, and 2 Rogers football players in the end zone to give Rhode Island a 18-9 lead at this point.
And Rhode Island will again appear to go for a 2-point conversion right now. Actually, and we've got a whistle down on the field, penalty. So they're going to say that
Come on, man.
it was not a touchdown. He was out of bounds down there.
Hurry off that. 2 first down.
I didn't see where he must have been very close to the sideline. It seemed like he was totally free over there on that sideline.
Well, fooled me. I didn't see it as well, Don.
Get maybe one more look at that one and see if he did actually touch that sideline. Look, by that point, he was pretty clear and ready to go. Just go in there.
Boy, that's a tough one. I don't know. That's close. But the officials have a better angle on the field than we do from here.
Looked like he tiptoed his way in the end zone, but it'll be first goal to go from the 4. Brito, confusion with Johnson as they bang in the backfield. So it appeared to be a Rhode Island touchdown. Suddenly now going to be a tough scoring situation. 2nd down and goal to go from the 13.
Too bad. You know, Rhode Island had Orlando step out of bounds, unfortunately, and then the 5-yard penalty then ensued afterwards, and now they try to come out and run a boot waggle play coming to Joey Brito's left-hand side, and a little bit of confusion in the backfield, which led to the sack by Connecticut.
Could be a Charlie horse situation for Johnson there, too. He took one right on the upper thigh.
Yeah, and that's the difficulty of, you know, Orlando's not a wing tee player, and that's the offense that Tim Cohen runs, so maybe the timing is a little bit off. And he does look like he's hobbled as he comes to the line of scrimmage.
Ball spotted on the 14, pitch to DeWitt. He'll be dropped for a loss. So 3rd and 16 to go for a Rhode Island touchdown.
Same play, Don, that EJ scored on earlier, going the other way. But this time, Connecticut's starting to get wise to that football, obviously, that football play. Did a great job with support out of the secondary. And the possibility exists that they might kick a field goal. I guess they're not. I think they're bringing in Shane Dinnigan, and they're going to run their shotgun offense for this big 3rd down play.
Situational quarterback situation. Dinnigan comes in out of Burrville. Rolling back in the backfield. Aaron Shaw, Oakland, the receivers. Dinnigan looking for Harold over the end zone. Keeping it up. Incomplete. It'll be 4th down. And Miami will come on to attempt a field goal for Rhode Island.
Great job by Connecticut and the coverage on that particular play. You can see that Rhode Island split 3 receivers to the wide side and left Brian Harrell by himself to the weak side. And it was a great job once again of Brian Harrell breaking up an interception to give Rhode Island an opportunity to kick a field goal.
Devon Brown, the defensive play for Connecticut. The field goal attempt will be 35 yards.
Jay Maeli, the All-State kicker from LaSalle. He's got a great foot and he's capable of putting it through.
Kick is high enough, long enough, but just slightly wide. So Rhode Island, they apparently had a touchdown, but end up coming up empty. A big turn of events for the Connecticut All-Stars.
Too bad. It looked like it appeared that they were in the end zone, but like I said, the officials must have had the best angle of whether he stepped on the line, and most people know if he touches any part of that sideline, he is out of bounds. And Jay Maeli had a pretty good foot into it, but there's a little bit of breeze here at Pierce Spencer. He's kicking slightly against the wind and left it a little bit right and a little bit short.
And one more look at the attempted touchdown by Johnson, where he walked the tightrope down the sideline. And they called him out on the 4, so right there is where they must have judged that he went out of bounds. Quick pitch goes over the middle. Connecticut immediately going to the aerial attack here.
That's certainly a change of events without Orlando in the end zone. We're still looking at a 3-point lead for Rhode Island at this point. 9 minutes or so left here in the 2nd quarter. And it certainly would have given them the opportunity to be up at least 18-9 with the possibility of maybe 19 or 20 headed possibly into halftime.
John Esmail had that last catch. Kuhn, the quarterback, out of the gun. Quick pitch, comes up short. Flag thrown in the middle. Have to see what the call is. He's very flat-footed back there, too. You know, a lot of kids have happy feet when they catch the ball. It looks like he makes a very concerted effort, Kuhn does as a quarterback, to keep that firmly planted on the ground.
You can tell that he's a very confident quarterback in the pocket. He must be I'm assuming that he's a shotgun quarterback in his high school offense, or was. And you can tell that he is firmly planted in the pocket. Unfortunately, he underthrew that particular receiver on that play. It looks like we might have a holding call, possibly.
Gonna march a chunk back.
On the blue, 2 second down.
That is the call.
10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
2nd down now and close to 20 yards to go.
I think this is a key series right now for Rhode Island, Don. I think, and also Connecticut for that standpoint, that Rhode Island losing the scoring opportunity and wanting, obviously, to get the football back.
Another penalty.
Flag on the far side of the field.
No play.
It appeared that maybe Owen Koch of Mount Pleasant might have been offsides from his right defensive end position.
Get a dead ball. Encroachment on the right. 5 yards. 10,
And
11,
it will
12,
go against
5
Rhode
on
Island.
17 days.
Those are the things that are going to happen in a game like this, Don. There are going to be certain mistakes and a certain number of penalties just because of the lack of preparation.
Washington is in the backfield with Kuhn. You have to watch for a direct snap sometime to Washington, too, in the backfield. He's used to doing that quite a bit. Kuhn, under pressure, rolling out. He'll be sacked for a loss on the play. Coming up with the tackle, Damian Kindle out of Hendricken.
Well, good for Damian. He redeems himself after the punt call earlier in the game. Makes a great play of tackling Kuhn as he tried to flee the pocket. As you can see, Rhode Island got great pressure there by Terrence Myers from Classical as one, and Damian Kindle comes off of his left defensive end position to make the sack.
So it'll be 3rd down and close to 20 yards to go. Kinder will be attending Bryant College, first-team All-State selection. Pitch deep over the middle. Has the receiver. He hits it in stride. That's Sanchez going for the downs on 3rd and long. Connecticut takes the lead over Rhode Island. There's the signal. Big play for Connecticut.
Great throw by Ryan Kuhn. There's a momentum swing right there. As we said, the missed scoring opportunity by Rhode Island on Orlando Johnson's run, and Connecticut answering with a huge pass on a 3rd and forever play.
Over 80 yards on that connection as Sanchez makes the catch, outran the Rhode Island defenders. One more look at David Sanchez and the speed after the catch.
It was a great throw by Kuhn, and unfortunately here you can see Tommy Okunfolomi kind of trips up his own teammate, Charlie Gibbs, who was in pursuit of the ball.
So the conversion fails, and Connecticut has a 3-point lead halfway through the 2nd quarter here on Cox 3.
Well, big block there on the PAT as well to keep it at a 3-point advantage, because anytime you have Jason Maeli on your team who's capable of kicking a field goal, it appears that Owen Koch from Mount Pleasant had the block on that conversion.
This one more look at the touchdown pass, Kuhn to Sanchez.
Just a vertical route. You can see the tightness of the spiral by Ryan Kuhn.
Sanchez smartly made sure he tucked the ball away before trying to run with it.
Sanchez can run too. You can see he's got great speed. He really accelerated after the catch, and a great downfield block as well to spring him at about the 10.
Mike Pierce with that block out of Glastonbury. Sanchez, the man of the moment. He gives Connecticut the lead over Rhode Island. 87 yards. The official pass play. And that was on 3rd and 15, too.
Yes, it was. It would look like the opportunity for Rhode Island to get the football back, but Connecticut took advantage of the situation and did a great job of getting the ball in the end zone.
Connecticut onside kick to the opposite side, and it looks like it is gathered in. Great play by Connecticut as John Esmail recovers the onside kick. They loaded to one side of the field, went back the other way. Esmail gives Connecticut great field position.
Great call by the Connecticut coaching staff. They left one person in John Esmail to the left-hand side of the kicker, a little pooch kick that's dropped down there called a Florida kick, and that's a live ball after it goes 10 yards. Greg Daniel obviously could not get to the ball in time, but as I said, after 10 yards, that's a live ball and a key play at this point of the game for Connecticut.
Been drama-filled already, and we're still in the first half. A lot of big plays already, and kicker doing his job.
You'll see, Don, too, that this game is going to last a little longer than most high school games because they play 15-minute quarters, and that's an opportunity to get everybody on both sides of the ball an opportunity to play football.
There's Washington. It will be dropped after a 2-yard gain, and it's the first time we've seen the combination of Manson and Washington. We have a late flag coming down in the secondary, as Sanchez was battling out there with Charlie Gibbs. And the call is going to go against Sanchez.
Appears to be unsportsmanlike again. Once again, Tim Washington has not gotten off to a very good start in this particular game. It's been Justice Harrison has been the mainstay for the Connecticut All-Star offense. But these types of penalties certainly hurt teams, and there's been 3 to 4 unsportsmanlike calls so far against Connecticut, which has certainly hurt their field.
As the quarterback's talking it over, the rivals during the regular season and friends here. Again, you probably won't see the penalty call. It was above and out of the screen of play as Gibbs and Sanchez were battling.
Yeah, I think some extracurricular activity took place over here to our right-hand side of the screen.
Again, unsportsmanlike 15-yard penalty.
And I would hope that, both coaches would address that at halftime and tell them the purpose of the game. And not only it doesn't do anything for the state of this game, but it certainly doesn't do anything for their teams in terms of trying to aid to their success.
Washington in the eye, fake handoff, looking deep downfield, pressure on the outside by Rhode Island. Pitch comes downfield, and Sanchez never came back to make the grab, gets deflected out of bounds, incomplete.
Well, Don, you can see the athletic ability of Jason Manson on that play. What a great fake coming off the counter trade bootleg coming towards us. Jamal Blackson, the Rhode Island defensive end, was fooled by it. You can see the play there where he fakes out Tommy Okunfalomi, which is a great play, and then delivers the ball. What a great athlete. I remember seeing him play last year here against East Providence High School when he represented Bloomfield High School last year, and he is one phenomenal player, and Iowa's lucky program to have him headed in their direction.
And East Providence played Bloomfield a couple times, done very well against them, beat them, right?
Ended their winning streak 2 years ago, Don, in a great game down there at Bloomfield.
Manson, heavy pressure on the rollout, looking downfield, lobs it up, one-on-one. Sanchez wins the one-on-one battle. First down inside the 10.
Once again, a great play by Jason Manson. His athletic ability freed him up to be able to deliver the ball, and Mr. Sanchez is having himself quite a night right now.
Christian Preston on the attempted coverage, and
I think it was difficult here on Christian Preston, who was in the coverage, because of the fact that he didn't see the ball thrown and didn't see it in flight. He had his back turned to it, trying to get back into coverage. And Jason Manson delivered it low and outside to the sideline where it should be thrown for quarterback. And David Sanchez continues to wreak havoc in the Rhode Island secondary.
And it was nice he reached out of bounds over his shoulder, but kept his feet inbounds, made sure the feet were firmly planted. And it'll be first and goal to go for Connecticut. Handoff Washington up the middle. The holder of numerous state rushing records in Connecticut inside the 5.
I think Carrillo's done a pretty good job on Tim Washington. That time, Mike Cirillo from Barrington came from a secondary position to make the tackle. And you can see the athletic ability, once again, of Jason Manson has created problems, because on the play that he completed, the long pass to David Sanchez, he is such a threat to run the football that the secondary has to respect that ability first. And then he puts people in one-on-one situations in the defensive secondary, which is going to create opportunities for Connecticut's offense.
Second and goal to go from the 4. Snap. No flag on that one. Looked like a quick snap. Timing a little bit off. Be a yard loss. And third down and 5 to go now.
Looks like Mac Richards might have upset the snap a little bit from his nose guard position from Rhode Island. And fortunate for Connecticut that Jason Manson was quick enough to get back on the ball.
As Connecticut actually changes centers on this play.
Go, hey, Ryan, you didn't do any. Come here, Ryan. Hey, Ryan. Keep your head up. You didn't do anything wrong. Stay right here.
You can hear Rob Samasic talking in the background. Tell him to keep his head up.
5 minutes left to go, second quarter. 3rd and 5. Handoff up the middle. Denied short of the end zone. That's Penta. Gets down to about the 2.
4th down on the 2-yard line.
So now 4th down and 2. And a big call here. You would guess that they would go for it.
2-yard line.
Yeah, it appears that there's quite a few substitutes coming in for Connecticut. It might be a field goal situation for them again.
And have to see. They'll decide to call a timeout and use it here. Whole different set of people over there. Everybody came out except for the kicker. Obviously, you've got an all-state kicker, a kid who's headed to UConn, already made a 45-yard field goal in this one.
Timeout on the field.
Rhode Island would be extremely fortunate to hold them to a field goal or no points at all in this drive. I think it would be a huge momentum swing for them. They're certainly fighting an uphill battle at this point after Connecticut scored on the long touchdown pass from Ryan Kuhn to David Sanchez, and then came back with another pass from Jason Manson to David Sanchez to set up this opportunity. So this is going to be an interesting call. If Jason Manson should stay in the game, the possibility of that bootleg looms once again that he ran in down the left sideline earlier in the first quarter.
Find just what you're looking for among over 7,000 classified ads on OSO.com. From home computers and office equipment to sailboats and camping gear. OSO.com. Find what you're looking for in Rhode Island. An action-packed game so far here. Good crowd at Pierce Field in East Providence on a beautiful Saturday night in late June in the state of Rhode Island. Don Coyne and Keith Kenyon bringing you all the action here on Cox 3.
It is a great crowd, Don, and this is no better place to hold a football game than in East Providence, Rhode Island. They have such a fan base here. They love their townies here in East Providence, and it doesn't matter what football is played in the stadium, they're going to come and watch.
4th and 2, they load the backfield. Manson, the quarterback. Handoff goes Washington. Finds the end zone. Touchdown, Connecticut.
Tim Washington gets uncorked on. He scores on, as I talked to you about, out of the wishbone formation again. A little off-tackle power play where they lead the other two running backs in the backfield through the hole. And Tim seems to get off the snide and get in the end zone, and good for him. Great block there on the kick-out block on Damian Kindle. And unfortunately, on his scrape, Eddie Procolo over-scraped on it, which allowed Tim Washington to get underneath him and get in the end zone.
Extra point upcoming. Matt Newsy made a 45-yard field goal in this one. Makes the point. And Connecticut extends their lead over Rhode Island to 10 points, 22-12.
Well, we're going to see. I would be very surprised if Rhode Island doesn't come back with their shotgun offensive set now that they found themselves in a 10-point deficit here with 4:31 to go in the second quarter. And Shane Dinnigan has been very effective from that position during his few series that he's played in the first half. But this game is far from over. There's a lot of football still to be played.
In fact, this is the most points Connecticut has scored since year one in any game already in this first half. To recap how it went the first season, 1999, Connecticut won at 28-16, but Rhode Island's won the last 2 years, 13-7, and then 28-7 just last year. So last 2 years combined, Connecticut only mustered 14 points, but first half they got 22 up on the Pierce Field scoreboard.
Yeah, I think probably the difference in obviously of seeing all four of these All-Star games is in the first year, Connecticut had a great passing attack. And one of the kids, Jamal Riddle, who's now a wide receiver for Syracuse, was one of the MVPs in that game that year. In the game that they played at the University of Connecticut in the second year, Connecticut really didn't have much ability to throw the ball. They had two option quarterbacks that couldn't throw the ball that well, so it limited what they could do offensively. But you're seeing three different quarterbacks for Connecticut that can get it done tonight.
Look at that boot. An All-State kicker deep into the end zone. It'll be a touchback.
Great foot. And as most people know in high school rules, when that ball crosses the goal line on a kickoff return situation, it's a dead ball and comes out to the 20-yard line.
And you don't see that much in high school football to have a kid with that strong of a leg.
No, but that's why he's headed to the University of Connecticut. He's got that kind of leg.
Rhode Island.
Don't tell me that.
The offensive series on the 20-yard line. One more look by Newsy.
That's a big-time foot. He's going to find himself in a UConn uniform very soon, I'm sure.
Dinnigan is the quarterback. Rhode Island spreads things out. Dinnigan into the secondary. He could be caught from behind. Huge gain for Rhode Island all the way down to the 10-yard line. Dan Oakland out of Providence High School. One more highlight in Pierce Field.
There's a hometown townie in Danny Oakland, a great wide receiver for East Providence during the course of his 4-year career. And as most people know, East Providence is more of a run-oriented offense, so Danny didn't see the ball as much in the pass game, but he is very, very capable. Great hands. As we see here, Shane Dinnigan delivers the ball right on the money. But you can also see the speed of the Connecticut secondary chasing it down, because Danny Oakland is one fast human being.
70-yard gain on the play.
Well, this is a big series, Don. This is great for Rhode Island to respond right after giving up those two scores consecutively.
First down for Rhode Island. First and goal to go from the 10. Procolo with the handoff into the secondary, into the end zone. Quick answer for Rhode Island.
Eddie Procolo again, and the same thing. It was the draw play off of the shotgun where they executed the trap. They just did it to the opposite side this time, with Eddie moving from left to right this time. And that's what happens when you get in the shotgun formation. Defensive linemen want to work their way up the field to get into a pass rush, which creates seams in the defense, which Eddie Procolo took advantage of. As you can see, the trap play once again here, and the trap was provided by Eddie Brown of St. Raphael Academy, which freed up Eddie to get in the end zone.
Procolo's second touchdown of the day. Maeli will try to get Rhode Island within a field goal. The boot is good. Rams. Well, a lot of Rams. Procolo out of LaSalle with the touchdown. Maeli, another Ram with the point after.
We have 3:53
Well, a great drive and a great answer to Connecticut's success in their last two offensive series. and a great opportunity, but I'm very impressed with Shane Dinnigan at this point. He has been extremely successful at the quarterback position out of the shotgun. He's delivered the ball on the money to his receivers, which given him opportunity as well to score. And we got ourselves a game, and we talked about it earlier. We wanted offense. We got it. It's 22-19 here with almost 4 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Dinnigan, second-team All-State selection, headed to State of Vermont. St. Anselm will be heading to. Led Burrillville to a couple of straight D3 Super Bowl appearances.
And Burrillville has had great success. Mike Hauser, their head coach, has done a wonderful job with that program. And they're a team that plays in Division III football, that with a small enrollment school that competes at the highest level. And Mike does an outstanding job in the passing game especially. And you can see the people that he's brought here tonight with him, with Andrew Shaw from Burrillville as well, and Shane Dinnigan and John Armstrong as well, one of their offensive linemen. And a couple of Burrillville kids played last year as well that were receivers for us. So Mike Hauser needs to be commended for what he's done in the pass game with Burrillville.
Another kick to the near sideline. This one goes out of bounds. That'll be a penalty as Maele overshot the mark.
Well, unfortunately, on that little pooch or Florida kick that Jay was trying to execute, he put the ball out of bounds, and Connecticut will have the opportunity to either take possession at the 35-yard line to start this series or execute the 5-yard penalty and make him kick it again. And it looks like they're going to put it at the 35.
Which is pretty much where they've been starting almost every drive at. That's where Rhode Island's kicking the ball down to. So.
And as I said before, Don, that's the danger of the pooch kick, that it does set up the offensive team with great field position in each one of their possessions, and it's happened here tonight. Connecticut has had tremendous field position in almost all of their possessions.
See what offensive unit comes out. Johnson, the quarterback this time, second series he's been out. He'll have Hairston in the backfield with him.
Here comes the shotgun set again, Don.
Johnson in the air. Pitch to the outside, goes incomplete. Attempted connection with Mike DeRosa.
Mike DeRosa ran a little swing route from his inside slot position. Unfortunately, the timing wasn't there and the ball wasn't delivered. It's a very difficult timing pass to throw because the ball has to be delivered on the receiver's face mask or his outside number. And with, like I said, with 2 weeks of preparation, that's a difficult one to make.
Hairston in the backfield. Johnson, the snap, throws it airborne for Sanchez. Interception by Mike Cirillo out of Barrington High School, Rhode Island with possession in Connecticut territory.
Well, a great catch by Mike Cirillo, obviously, but more importantly, the defensive pressure by the Rhode Island defensive line caused that errant throw. Ball was a little bit underthrown, and Mike made a one-handed grab. And Mike has been trying to fight through a groin pull during the last week during practice, and he did a great job of recovery. Look at this. One-hand grab, secures the ball, gives Rhode Island another opportunity at their own 49-yard line to maybe get back on the board and take the lead before the half.
First team All-Stater headed to Holy Cross as they'll spot the ball down actually just outside Rhode Island territory at the 48-yard line. And Cirillo getting congrats over there.
Back to the shotgun offense again. Tim Cohen wants to get in the end zone.
Dinnigan, protection. Left defensive backfield, a split to the outside, stays on his feet. He's heading to the touchdown. He's got it. No flags on the play. Rhode Island back on top.
I think Rhode Island might not go back to the wing T offense. There's no need for Shane Dinnigan running this shotgun the way he is. The wing T might be a clock stopper for him to eat some clock time during the course of the second half, but Shane Dinnigan, once again, can't say it enough, he's delivering the ball on the money.
52-yard connection. Dinnigan to Harrell.
Brian Harrell was a single receiver to the right side, ran a backside post off of this cut, seemed like one of the Connecticut defenders fell down, and as I said earlier, his speed is phenomenal. When you put him in the open field, he's going to outrun people.
Point after is good. Rolling in this one as they have answered Connecticut's challenge with 2 quick touchdowns in the last 59 seconds. Rhode Island has scored 14 points.
Wow. These people, they certainly are getting their money's worth tonight, aren't they? Look at the poise in the pocket by Shane Dinnigan. Delivers the ball directly on the money to Brian. Obviously the cut against the grain and a great athletic play to avoid the tackle there and get himself in the end zone.
And the pocket You mentioned that, and that offensive line doing a real nice job of giving him a place to throw from.
Give the offensive line credit, and also Tom Carlson from Lincoln High School, who's coached them during these past 2 weeks. They're undersized. They're facing kids that are much bigger than them from Connecticut. And Dave Ross, as I said earlier, is doing a great job in terms of the shotgun snaps. They're all delivered on the money. And also credit Dave Braz because LaSalle does not run any shotgun formations in their offense. So this is new to him, and he's done a wonderful job tonight.
A couple of LaSalle Rams dove winning on this field, winning a couple of Super Bowls here last couple of years. Squib kick comes down the sideline. DeRosa fumbles it. Who's got it? It looks like DeRosa retained possession, but just barely. Great hustle down there by number 14, Christian Dixon, another East Providence County who nearly came up with it.
Well, you know, it appeared that the ball was fumbled, obviously, but Tomi Okunfalami from LaSalle was traveling at such a high rate of speed he couldn't slow himself down enough to recover the fumble. If you watch it here, the ball was obviously loose, and Tomi had an opportunity, but kind of passed it by, and give credit to Connecticut for falling back on the ball. That could have been a key play as we head into halftime here shortly.
3:26 left to go until the half. It's been a shootout so far. Highest scoring half we've seen so far in this 4th annual All-Star game. Any year, Justice Hairston, 5-yard gain.
Well, we got another penalty. Unfortunately, we got another penalty. Looks like this one is on Rhode Island this time.
Hairston pleading his case. He already had the flag go his way, so I don't know what else there is to talk to the official about.
You know, as I said earlier, Don, it's unfortunate that it occurs because it's a great...
The first signal by the official was incorrect. I guess he had his, let's see, his lineup a little off, and it was against Connecticut, so that's why Hairston was talking to him.
Yeah, as I said earlier, you know, as I started to say before, it's too bad because this is a great football game. And it's selling itself in terms of the way the kids are playing on the field, and there's really no need for that at all. It really takes away from the beauty of the game.
Second down is a dead ball foul after the play, so the yardage will be marked off afterwards. So it's about 21 yards to go. Take the 4-yard gain, subtracted there Sanchez. He's been the star so far in this one.
Take a look at the graph, 151 total yards, and the rest of the team has a fraction of that.
Pitch to Hairston. He's going to throw the ball, looking downfield. Has Sanchez behind the defensive back. Add more yardage to that. Rhode Island's got some guys back to try to attempt to bring him down, and they do eventually on the 36-yard line. Justice Hairston to Sanchez. And it looked like Rhode Island had it pretty well defended.
You know, those are the things that you don't know. You know, Rhode Island doesn't know about Justice Hairston, that he has the ability to throw the ball because you've never seen him and had the opportunity to scout him, but he obviously has an extremely strong arm. And you can see here that he gets great hesitation and puts the ball and delivers the ball on the mark. And David Sanchez is one difficult kid to bring down in the open field. Give credit here to Sean McGowan from St. Ray's, who made the tackle in the open field from his linebacker position.
First down, Hairston with the pitch. This time he'll keep it and run with it. And not much room to go anywhere.
Tomi Okunfalami held on for dear life. He had a piece of Hairston's foot as he tried to climb to the sideline. But going back to my earlier point, the toss sweep play that Connecticut has run with so much success tonight, the two plays that have been big for them off of that have been the toss pass that Hairston just threw and also the reverse earlier in the first quarter. Great complement plays to the toss sweep, so give credit to the Connecticut coaching staff and head coach Rob Samazic.
Just over 2 minutes to go in the first half. 2nd and 9.
Interesting they're staying in the eye, that they didn't go back to the shotgun.
Oh, we got some motion, and we're going to see that's the second time that has happened, that Hairston started to go in motion, and Rhode Island has jumped off that motion.
It's a quality and great quarterbacks like Jason Manson that you use the inflection in your voice to draw defensive linemen off sides. And he's done a great job, and we can hear it here from the booth, of inflecting his voice to draw him off sides. And as I said earlier, it's one that defensive linemen are taught to react only to movement of the ball but not sound to the quarterback. But in this game, when adrenaline starts to flow, it's hard to hold yourself back.
Here's Manson. And it's going to go
Interesting.
against Connecticut.
Interesting.
Well, it did seem like Pearson was just starting to move, and it's a question, was he starting his motion, or was it illegal procedure at that time? But the call goes against Connecticut.
What possibly might have happened, Don, is when Hairston went in motion, you have to be parallel to the line of scrimmage or working away from the line of scrimmage. If you make any attempt to turn your shoulders towards the line of scrimmage, it can be an offsides penalty, and that might have been called by the wing official on the far sideline.
There's Sanchez, the offensive star so far for Connecticut. 3 big receptions, including an 87-yarder for a touchdown. And Connecticut will call a timeout with 1:34 left to go in the first half. Lots coming up at the half here on Cox 3. Make sure you stay tuned. Keith will be talking to some of the principals involved on the Connecticut and Rhode Island sideline down there, and get more about the background of this game, Keith.
Yeah, there's a couple key people that we're going to speak to at halftime. One of them is Steve Philippone, who's the coordinator of the Connecticut All-Star Game, who's also the head coach at Hand High School in Madison, Connecticut, and also Bob Murray, the head coach and athletic director at Tiverton High School here in Rhode Island, who's also the president of the Rhode Island Football Coaches Association. And both of these gentlemen have a lot of work invested into this game to make it successful, so it'll be interesting to talk about the game at this point.
You're inside the Rhode Island defensive huddle thanks to the Cox 3 camera crew work.
Don, one of the things that needs to be mentioned about both of these teams as well is these kids are obviously graduated seniors from high school. Some of them will never go on and play college football. This might be the last game of their careers. And they have to travel to Connecticut and Rhode Island to different locations to practice, which invests a lot of time. They get time out of work, obviously, from their summer jobs. And you've got to give these kids a lot of credit for giving up 2 weeks of their summer to compete in a game of this stature. And I can't say enough about the kids that involve themselves in this contest, because it's all good for the game and good for their state.
Fake handoff. Manson drops back. Lets it fly. He's got a receiver downfield. Underthrown. Picked off by Rhode Island. That's Gibbs with the pickoff. He's dangerous with the football. Gets it up to the 30.
Well, it was a bootleg off the counter tray play as Jason has executed earlier. Unfortunately for Connecticut, they had a receiver open. Number 22 was wide open going against the grain, working from right to left. And unfortunately, with Lewis Pratt of New Britain High School, you can see that he was open early, but Jason unfortunately underthrew him, which created the interception, which was tipped by Mike Cirillo here and picked off by Charlie Gibbs of LaSalle Academy.
That was a tough throw, though. He was throwing back across the grain. For them to attempt that, that kid's got to have a howitzer for arm.
He does, and he has the strength of the arm. I think that his lead foot slipped a little bit on the turf as he let that one go to prevent it, because, you know, looking at it from the booth, had that ball been delivered where I thought it was going to be, it was going to be a touchdown.
So Rhode Island looks like they'll go back to the running attack with the lead late in the half. As we say that, Brito comes out looking to throw the ball. He goes downfield, has DeWitt down there. E.J. DeWitt, the catch, gets behind the Connecticut secondary. He's face masked, but it doesn't matter. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Rhode Island. Flags fly.
Well,
DeWitt finds the end zone again.
Both of those flags are on Connecticut, Don. We had a face mask call, which E.J. DeWitt fought through on it, and also an unsportsmanlike call on Connecticut in the end zone after he had already crossed the goal line.
DeWitt, a 70-yard touchdown catch from Brito, his second score of the game.
Well, that was just a traditional buck waggle out of the wing tee offense. The Joey Brito going to his left, threw back to E.J. DeWitt, who's the lone receiver to the backside, running a post from the backside. And you can see it here. E.J. is the lone receiver. The ball was thrown a little bit underthrown by Joey, but E.J. did a great job to come back to the football in an underthrown situation, outfight the Connecticut defender for the ball, and makes a great run here. You can see the face mask right there, and obviously he fought through the face mask, and unfortunately this extracurricular activity while the ball's in the end zone.
Penalty in the end zone was on Jermaine Smith, defensive back out of Weathersfield. That'll be tacked on to the kickoff with 1:08 left to go. 32-22.
At this rate, we might end this game tomorrow, Don. Rob Samanzic's trying to gather his coaches right now. It's one of his assistant coaches to his right, and Steve Philippone from Hand High School to his left. Probably trying to regroup. The game is certainly not over. It's a 10-point advantage. Certainly now 11 on Jay Maelli's kick, but the explosiveness of Ryan Kuhn and David Sanchez and Justice Harrison and Tim Washington, we're far from over tonight. We have a lot more football to be played.
Well, you mentioned that you wanted to make this game a high-scoring affair, show off some of the talent. First half, it's already a highest-scoring all-star game in the 4 years of this country.
It's really hard to believe, Don. I didn't think that the passing game on both offenses would be so dominant. I'm not trying to denigrate the defensive play in the secondary of either state, but there's been some underthrown balls that never should have been completed in this game as well. There's been some mistakes made, and the underthrown balls have resulted in some being offensive touchdowns and some being defensive interceptions. So the passing game has certainly ruled out here in the first half.
That's a mean-looking face over there by Mr. Perkins. He's got the face paint running, and Rich Perkins out of Notre Dame High School in Fairfield. He can't be pleased with his team trailing by 11 points to Rhode Island with just 1:08 left to go before the half.
Well, you know, in the second half, I think Connecticut, you know, and I'm sure Rob will find this, is going to have to find a delicate blend of running the football to their two great tailbacks and taking advantage of the feet of Jason Manson as well, but also not forgetting that David Sanchez right now is probably the offensive MVP for Connecticut. He needs to have the ball delivered to him. But at the same time, they've got to control a little clock.
Tommy over the bottom and recovers the onside kick. Everything going Rhode Island's way. They've got the ball on the 40. You know, Rhode Island has 2 interceptions in this game, and they've scored on the next play both times. Well, they recovered the onside kick. The way things have been going, could be a quick strike attempt here.
Well, it looks like Shane Dinnigan's coming back in the game, so they could be putting the ball up top right away. And I'm sure with 1:05 to go, Tim would like to get himself another score on the board.
Great athletic play here, too.
Tommy almost had the last one. This time he got it. Obviously coming from the outside position. There he is. Great kid, great athlete, and Tim Cohn has loved coaching him for the past 2 years.
His last football game was right here at Pierce Field back in early December when LaSalle completed another great season, winning a state championship. And motion on Rhode Island apparently there.
Unfortunately, Andrew Shaw from Burrillville got a little bit of a jump out of his inside slot position on the right-hand side. And, you know, as I talked about defensive line play of watching the ball, it's the same thing with wide receiver play. You have to watch the football because sometimes you get into loud environments with crowd noise that receivers cannot hear the snap count of the quarterback, so they have to rely on watching the ball be snapped. And unfortunately, Andrew got a little bit of a head start on that one.
Shane Dinnigan, talk about efficiency. 4 completions for 162 yards and 1 score. Dinnigan tosses to the outside. Completion.
Great touch.
It's Oakland with the catch out there.
He had to take a little bit off of that one to complete the ball in the flat to Danny Oakland over there. It was a great touch by Shane Dinnigan. And as you had alluded to earlier, Don, great offensive line play right now by Rhode Island. Shane's getting all the time that he needs to throw the ball.
Great so far, hasn't it?
6-yard completion on the play. Rhode Island will use a timeout. 52 seconds left to go, trying to get another score.
Right here, that's where I'm staying.
Tim Cohen's team is known for scoring quickly, too. I remember the Super Bowl they had here 2 years ago against Portsmouth, and it was just touchdown flew after touchdown flew, and got a trademark there.
He certainly does. His teams are built for speed first and aggressiveness, and you can see that the contribution of some of his players here tonight, and he's been very aggressive in his play. You know, Tim has not been one to throw the ball a lot in his success in the last 2 years, but a little bit more last year with his son Liam at the helm at LaSalle. But he's put the ball in the air tonight. He has not held back whatsoever, and it's really been a fun game to watch so far. But I'll tell you, the concession stand might have to start serving breakfast at this rate.
A lot of former LaSalle talent on this field. They still got plenty coming back next year. He said with Liam Cohen, another false start by Rhode Island will cost them 5 yards. And they, of course, have Lorenzo Perry coming back, a dynamic athlete.
Great player in his own right, and LaSalle is, well, certainly is the odds-on favorite to defend their crown, but I think that you'd have to talk differently with people from East Providence and maybe Bishop Hendricken as well, and obviously St. Raphael Academy has always had a strong program under Mike Sasse's direction.
What about North Kingstown?
We'll be better, Don. We'll be much improved from last year. We had a little bit of a down year next year. I mean, last half is Dom Marcone's son. Dom's the defensive coordinator for Rhode Island in tonight's game, and Jeff's an assistant for Tim at LaSalle Academy, was a great quarterback in his own right at Pilgrim High School when he played for his dad, Dom, and had a great career at Springfield College as well. But he's regarded as the passing coordinator, and LaSalle's offense has done a great job of grooming Liam Cohen during his young career.
3rd and 10 to go. Handoff on the inside to Percolo. Keeps the legs moving. Gets first down yardage and gets out of bounds at the 25. And another late penalty by Smith. That's his second unsportsmanlike in the last, well, 3 minutes of play. And Rhode Island will be knocking on the door one more time after that 15-yard.
Unfortunate for Connecticut again. Once again, the draw trap out of the shotgun formation for Rhode Island that Eddie Percolo has run so well during the course of this game. And you can see here, he works from his right position. He's got a trap that occurs from the right side there by Chris Wheeler of Narragansett, which frees him up. And unfortunately, here comes the extracurricular things of pushing somebody into the wall off the track. I'm sure that Rob Samazik is beside himself right now with the unsportsmanlike calls that have occurred against his team.
And with the second one, he's surprised he doesn't yank Smith out of the game at this point with 2 in the last few minutes of play. Definitely some frustration showing for Jermaine Smith out of Weathersfield. So this is going to march Rhode Island into scoring position with 33 seconds left to go. No timeouts left for Rhode Island. Have to see where the final spot appears to be on the 12-yard line. So first, 10 to go from the 12.
Going back to their wing T offense here, Don.
That's right, Brito's in the game. Johnson in motion. The pitch to Johnson, a little behind him. Great defensive play by Morgan with the tackle there.
Leo Morgan, great inside-out play on Orlando Johnson on this one. That's the play that we talked about earlier, that E.J. DeWitt and Orlando Johnson had long gains on. Leo Morgan came inside out and made a great, great play on Orlando Johnson. You can see Morgan working from his defensive end position coming inside out. That's a tremendous open field tackle on a great athlete.
So Rhode Island, it'll be, well, 2nd and 19 yards to go with 21 seconds left to go here in the half. Morgan's made a couple of fine defensive plays in this one.
Jack Cochran of New Britain High School is out with his defensive troops trying to stall off this effort. He really needs to keep Rhode Island out of the end zone before the half here to give themselves an opportunity here. And Leo Morgan certainly started it off well there, creating a 2nd and 19 situation.
Again, this is the 4th annual game between Rhode Island and Connecticut Senior All-Stars. Rhode Island with a 2-game win streak in this one. Trying to make it 3 in a row. Another penalty.
Looks like the right tackle might have moved a little bit early for Rhode Island.
And again, it's very difficult for them to get the timing down. I believe it wasn't the entire roster for Rhode Island at any one practice this year. You know, most of the kids are there, but a few guys had to miss for this reason, that reason, and you know, it's tough to get that timing down, especially in offense like this, which some of these kids really haven't run much of.
Yes, especially in the wing tee, because a lot of kids don't run it in their home high schools. And as you said, a lot of kids have to miss practices for various functions. It's at the time of the year that graduations occur and trips, and the seniors are certainly involved in a lot of those activities, so a lot of kids had to miss them.
Ball on the 23-yard line, 2nd down. Brito looking for Johnson, throws it up, and will it be picked off? No, out of bounds. So it'll be 3rd down with 13 seconds left to go in the half.
That was a buck waggle play that Joey has run several times already in this game, and as Tim has said before, he has Joey rolling to his left-hand side. And after Orlando Johnson faked the handoff off the buck sweep fake, he continued down the right sideline, and Connecticut did a great job in terms of coverage of being disciplined and tried to pick off the ball, but unfortunately caught it out of bounds.
3rd down, Rhode Island should be able to get off 2 more plays. They have to get inside the 2-yard line to get a 1st down, so pretty much heading for the end zone here pretty soon.
It'll be interesting to see here, Don. It looked like on the offsides call 2 plays ago for Rhode Island, they looked like they were going to run the counter crisscross play, which is a double handoff play that LaSalle executes so well. I'm sure Tim Cohen will come back to that pretty soon.
Brito gets free, pitches it to the outside to Harold. At his feet, not out of bounds. Used 5 seconds, so it'll be 4th down. One final play to come for Rhode Island, and
8 seconds left on the clock.
Looks like a Jay Maeli field goal attempt coming, Don.
Gonna be a long boot, vicinity of about 40 yards. Missed a 35-yarder earlier, had enough boot on it, just A little bit wide to the right.
The last kick that Jay attempted from about the same distance or so, maybe this one's a little bit longer, was from the left hash mark, which is a little bit more difficult for a right-footed kicker. This is a more natural kick from the right hash for Jay to get more strength in his foot.
8 seconds to go in the first half. The hold is down, the boot is up. Got the leg. Just missed it. Fairly wide to the left, but a great effort by Jay Maeli.
Too bad, because he had enough foot certainly on it. He was just a little bit left of the left post, but certainly had a little bit more leg. And as I said earlier, from the right hash mark, it certainly gives him more opportunity for leg strength.
One more look. He will look at that left upright.
Boy, he just missed it. Just missed it. He had great protection by his PAT team, field goal team there, but he just missed it. Great foot by Jay, though.
One final play coming up for Connecticut right here. Ball spotted on the 20, and I'm sure they'll try to, they got Kuhn in the game, so they'll try to pitch it downfield as they go with a 4-wide attack. Hairston alone back in the backfield.
Find Mr. Sanchez. I'm sure he's going to see the football here.
Kuhn will not get a chance to get the pass away. That is the half, as Rhode Island has the lead over Connecticut. 33-22 the score. Rhode Island coming back from a 10-point deficit to take the lead. Keith Kenyon with more coming up at the half here on Cox 3. Rhode Island and Connecticut football all-star game.
Made all the difference. The best of times are the times with your friends. Questions you've asked, they've got answers for. The smile on their face when you walk through the door. In my life, all my friends are with me to the end. Help me out if they can. Anything they can do just to help me through. Life is good when you've got your friends.
Bringing friends together is one of the ways digital technology makes our lives a little better. And you can count on us to help make it all possible.
In my life, all my friends are with me to the end. Life is good when you've got your friends.
Cox Communications, your friend in the digital age.
Go in for mega movies on In Demand.
And to what do I owe this pleasure?
The pleasure of Sophia.
When did you stop caring, David?
You've been charged with murder. Julie is alive. You're in OJ land. Someone did this to me.
I didn't kill anyone!
Vanilla Sky is next on In Demand pay-per-view. This mega movie starts every half hour today on Cox Digital Cable.
Welcome back to Pierce Field at the half. It is a shootout so far, with Rhode Island leading 33-22 over the Connecticut All-Stars. Joining us down on the field, Keith Kenyon with a couple of special guests. Keith?
Don, I'm here with Steve Philippone, who's a coordinator of the Connecticut All-Star team. He's also one of the assistant coaches here with the team. Steve, in your preparation of this game, obviously nobody expected to see what we're seeing here tonight with obviously 55 points on the board in the first half. What do you think is in store for the second half?
Well, I think we're going to get more of the same, but honestly, I mean, you and I have been involved in the game for 4 years, and this is exactly what we want. You know, this is what the people want. They want to see points scored. They want to see the ball. They want it to be exciting. And so we're getting what we hope for, and hopefully the second half will just be more of the same.
How about David Sanchez? What a first half he's had. He's had a phenomenal half, and Ryan Kuhn's delivered the ball as well as Jason Manson. It's been an exciting passing game so far to this point.
Yeah, I think that I think we need to throw the ball more. I think we need to get more people involved in the passing game, and our quarterbacks are doing a great job. And Dave is headed to UConn, and he's a great athlete. And I'm sure he's going to do well in the second half.
Steve, I know you want to get back to your team. Thanks for all your coordination of this game. It's been great.
It's my pleasure, and thanks to Cox for doing a great job with it, and thanks to you.
Thanks, Steve.
Take care, guys. Good luck.
We have Bob Murray over here on my right. He's the head football coach at Tiverton High School. He's also the president of the Rhode Island Football Coaches Association, who's done a great job in organizing this event in its 4th year. Bob, what do you see so far right now? What a great night, huh?
It's what we've talked about, Keith, the fact that the ball's going up and down the field. It's an exciting game for fans to watch. When we worked on it last year, this is what we had talked about, and it's exactly what Steve said. We're getting what we're looking for. We're getting that exciting offensive play.
You know, I said to one of the guys in the booth earlier, Bob, that you couldn't have a better venue than East Providence, Rhode Island. The fans here just love the game of football. We've got a great crowd here tonight. We got great weather. Joe Medeiros has done a great job. And this is probably the pinnacle of Rhode Island high school football for you as the president to put on an event like this.
Well, I think that's the key. First of all, Joe's done a tremendous job. I mean, East Providence is perfect. This is a great place for us to play. But our kids, I think the state of Rhode Island kids have worked towards this point in their high school careers to play in this game, and I think it's become a great rivalry. And I think that this is the pinnacle of high school football for Rhode Island kids right now, to be able to play in this game and to be able to be successful as we're being right now. I mean, so I think this is tremendous for us, for Rhode Island, and obviously for Connecticut.
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate all your efforts in making this game happen.
No problem.
And we'll
Thank
kick it back to you, Don. Thank you.
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you very much to Bob and Keith. Very instrumental participants in getting this game going. And boy, we've seen a shootout here in the first half. It has lived up to advanced billing. Rhode Island has rallied from a 10-point deficit in this one to score the last 21 points of the half. We'll be back to Pierce Field with more.
People in your life made all the difference. The best of times are the times with your friends. Questions you've asked, they've got answers for. The smile on their face when you walk through the door. In my life, all my friends are with me to the end. Help me out if they can. Anything they can do just to help me through. Life is good when you've got your friends.
Bringing friends together is one of the ways digital technology makes our lives a little better, and you can count on us to help make it all possible.
In my life, all my friends are with me to the end. Life is good when you've got your friends.
Cox Communications, your friend in the digital age.
Go in for mega movies on In Demand.
And to what do I owe this pleasure?
The pleasure of Sophia. When did she stop caring, David?
You've been charged with murder. Julie is alive. You're in O.J. land. Someone did this to me.
I didn't kill anyone!
Vanilla Sky is next on In Demand pay-per-view. This mega movie starts every half hour today on Cox Digital Cable.
Back at the half, the team's coming back to the field. They got to be pretty tired already. 55 points scored in that first half, Keith Kenyon. It was a shootout.
Wow. Who could have thought that it would have been this? I mean, I thought it was going to be a high-scoring game, Don, but I never imagined it would have got to this level.
It is David Sanchez, the offensive star, one of his great catches right here.
This was the one down the right sideline on the underthrown ball that he kept his feet in bounds. A great athletic effort on his part.
That set up a touchdown, and they also got a 45-yard field goal for Matt Newsy.
Matt Newsy put the heat on that one. That one was good from about 50 to 55 yards.
Rhode Island closed the half with 21 straight points. Brito, the connection right here, and E.J. DeWitt, one of his 2 touchdowns in the half.
Great job by E.J. out fighting the free safety on that play, and as I said, overcoming the face mask at the 5-yard line, and then working his way into the end zone to give Rhode Island a 33-22 lead.
Rhode Island all fired up because they got the lead, 21 straight points. They come from behind. You look at the numbers right there. Really, there weren't a lot of first downs because a lot of touchdowns were scored. Some amazing numbers right there. The 3 Connecticut turnovers really cost them in this one.
Well, you look at the stats there too, Don, and you see obviously the lack of first downs by both teams tells you it's big play offense. The other thing is, obviously, you can see the penalties. Rhode Island has 11, but a lot of Rhode Island's penalties are 5-yard illegal procedure penalties. Connecticut's penalties are for big yards. They've got 9, and I bet you 5 or 6 of them are unsportsmanlike, which can obviously accumulate into a great deal of yardage.
And E.J. DeWitt has been a star, 2 touchdowns in this one. Plus, he had a tremendous downfield block, which freed Rogers High School teammate Orlando Johnson to get down to the 4-yard line for Rhode Island. So E.J. DeWitt's got to go down as one of the stars so far in the first half of action.
EJ's done it all tonight, Don. He's blocked, he's caught balls, he's ran the ball. He's done it all for them as well as his team in Orlando. So Jimmy Grauer's kids have done the Rogers people proud here tonight.
Amazingly, out of the 384 yards for Rhode Island in the first half, they only ran 22 offensive plays. And Tim Cohen's offense not known to be a big, quick strike, huge offense through the air, but they just had some athletes make some tremendous plays, and Shane Dinnigan needs to get a lot of respect, too, for the way he's throwing the ball.
Obviously, Shane has been one of the big standouts for Rhode Island so far out of the shotgun formation, but, you know, it's interesting. You talk about Timmy's offense during the regular season. Usually his big strikes are out of the running game, and you have the likes of Lorenzo Perry and Charlie Gibbs and Eddie Percolo and Tommy Okunfalami and those people running the football. But, you know, obviously he has more with his son Liam Cohen at the quarterback position, too, but it's usually not through the air that he's quick striking people, and he has certainly done it tonight. So give all the credit to Tim. He's having some fun tonight. He's letting it all hang out.
And the officials out there talking to the captains, and I'm sure they're reminding them there were quite a few unsportsmanlike conduct calls there in the first half, and hopefully both coaches said something to the players out there at the half. It will be Connecticut kicking away. Rhode Island will receive. They won the initial choice of this game and deferred to the second half here.
Well, as far as the penalties that Connecticut has been assessed so far in the first half, Don, as I said earlier, Rob Samazik is a gentleman, and he's been a standout, and he's always been a gentleman in the game of football. And it's one of the things that we talked about during the offseason in preparation for this game. He didn't like the 15-yard penalties that Connecticut got last year, and that was one of his goals, to bring a classy football team here to Pierce Field tonight, one that was kind of penalty-free. And I'm sure that bothers Rob, and I'm sure he's made adjustments with it at halftime that it's not going to be tolerated in the second half. And hopefully we settle down and we play football. That's the reason we all came here tonight.
About ready to get underway. Beautiful night, just near perfect conditions. We are in the middle of a heat wave, but it happens to be the one night where it's not that hazy, hot, and humid here in the state of Rhode Island.
You know, the heat wave is created by these two football teams. They have raised the temperature in this stadium tonight.
And there's Mr. Washington coming in, a star, three-time Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Connecticut, heading to Syracuse University. And he got in the end zone once in the first half, but Rhode Island did a nice job of keeping him in check.
They certainly did. After the initial series when Connecticut drove down the field and scored, Rhode Island has adjusted very well. But I think you're going to see Connecticut settle back down and get into the run game. They're going to control the clock a little bit and start to take some time off the clock and try to force their power on Rhode Island, which is in fact Connecticut's strength.
Teddy Awa fields the kickoff, and Rhode Island has possession. As we said, they've scored the last 21 points in this one.
Well, it worked to their advantage to defer in the first half kickoff in terms of the coin toss, Don, that Rhode Island gets the first possession of the second half, especially when you come out here with an 11-point lead and an opportunity to advance from that even further. So we will see. It looks like the wing T team is back on the field for Rhode Island under the direction of Joey Brito, the St. Raphael quarterback.
Key man in this offense, too, is Eddie Percolo, number 8, scored 2 touchdowns in the first half. Handoff to Percolo. Just keep those legs grinding up the middle.
That's a great job by Eddie, because there really wasn't much there on the initial run. That's the play that runs off the complement of the quick pitch play that E.J. DeWitt scored on earlier. And you can see here that Eddie works his way back against the grain and really makes something out of nothing by breaking tackles. And I can tell you, that is pure lower body strength. That's some time in the weight room that creates that opportunity to break tackles.
And Lee Morgan, defensive end out of Bloomfield, had a hook on his waist, too, and he's a tough man to drag along. Second down, 2 yards to go. Motion man DeWitt. Polo takes the handoff into the defensive secondary, heading towards the end zone if he's got enough speed. Eddie Percolo's third touchdown of the day. Rhode Island continues their offensive roll just a minute 5 seconds into the second half.
Look at the speed of Eddie Percolo on this play. It's a simple belly play on the wing T offense. And if most people don't know, Eddie Percolo was a state championship wrestler in his junior year at LaSalle and gave up wrestling in his senior year to compete in indoor track to get better at football. And you can see here, when he runs this simple belly play off tackle, he splits the linebackers, the secondary, and outruns everyone to the goal line. He was one of the top sprinters in the state at 190 pounds.
Amazing. Tremendous athlete. A team leader, and one more football game here at Pierce Field. He's making the most of it. Point after attempt is good. Rhode Island stretches the lead, 40-22, just a minute 5 into the second half.
Here we go again. There's short 2-play drives or 3-play drives to put them in the end zone. Rhode Island doesn't have many first downs, but they have a heck of a lot of touchdowns at this point.
And that's a lot of great athletes chasing him there to show that kind of speed to pull away from. No one came close to catching Eddie Percolo from the back.
If you notice when Eddie Percolo crosses the goal line, there's no flare, there's no flash. He sets the ball down on the ground. And I've always said that the great ones put the ball down like they've been there before, and that's what Eddie Percolo does. He's a classy young man, and he understands what the game's all about as he celebrates there with his teammate.
And a nice thing, too, the first man he pointed out on the sideline was Ed Brown, a lineman from St. Ray's, saying, I couldn't be in the end zone without these guys helping me up front.
And once again, it demonstrates what Eddie Percolo's about. He's a classy young man that appreciates his teammates and understands that he wouldn't be standing in that end zone if it wasn't for the help of his teammates.
So Connecticut, they need a response. 28 straight points for Rhode Island in a very short time span. In fact, I'll quickly do my math, and I can tell you in the last 4 minutes and 58 seconds of play, Rhode Island has outscored Connecticut 28-0, and do they get another possession? Looks like Connecticut has the ball. Let the official make the call.
Boys, they separate him. It looked like Paul Chowder had an opportunity to recover from Rhode Island, but Connecticut did a great job because that ball was loose. It must have hit 3 or 4 people on its way to being a free ball until someone from Connecticut jumped on it. This onside kick has worked. It's not an onside kick, it's a squib kick, but it's worked very effectively for Jason Maeli of LaSalle. And you can see the pursuit from the left-hand side of that kickoff team. They recognize that that's going to be a loose ball on the move, and every one of those kids wants an opportunity to recover it.
Manson, handoff Hairston. About 3 yards, that's about it.
Connor Galvin of Portsmouth High School. Head coach Bob Montero, who does a great job with their defense. And Connor Galvin's a first-team All-Stater from his linebacker position. Normally accustomed to playing middle linebacker in Bob's 5-3 defense, but tonight he's playing a 5-2 defense. He snuffed that one up and stuffed it for only a 1-yard gain.
Year after year, we see this in this game, too. The undersized Rhode Island defensive unit always seems to step up against big Connecticut offensive line.
We gotta get right.
Second down and 9. Again, there's some movement.
Hard to say what caused that. Rhode Island certainly jumped on, but Connecticut did as well. But the Connecticut jump might have occurred after Rhode Island had crossed into the neutral zone.
And that appears to be the call. And that's really been Rhode Island's only problem in this game. They probably have about 9 of these calls against them so far, and yes, they were drawn off sides, so 2nd and 3.
No, it really hasn't hurt them that badly in this game, especially because their offensive success so far. It only takes 1 or 2 plays to get them in the green pastures.
Hanson gives to Washington, who's back in the game. Dances for a first down.
It was a nice run for a first down by Tim. We haven't really seen him hit his stride yet. He's been slowed up, and you have to give credit to the Rhode Island defense that they've been obviously stopping gaps and plugging him and making him redirect. He really hasn't got downhill and got his shoulders over the ball to be effective in the open field as of yet.
Did get it into Rhode Island territory, 1st and 10 on the Rhode Island 48.
And you know, Don, this is what we talked about at halftime, that we thought that Connecticut would come out with a more run dimension here in the second half. Unfortunately for Connecticut, with Rhode Island scoring so quickly, it hurts their philosophy of wanting to stay on the ground. But it seems that they're going to be determined. They've got 12 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. They're only down by 18, which is plenty of time. And I'm sure they're going to try to wear down the Rhode Island defense and go right at them and play some smash mouth football.
And they can open up benefits in the 4th quarter, too, by the time, you know, because a lot of these kids, not in football shape, they haven't played a lot of contact football.
There's no question about that. And, you know, the other threat that you have to worry about is Jason Manson as the quarterback from Connecticut. When you run the ball continuously, he'll come off with a bootleg eventually, and he'll hurt you because he's such a great athlete.
There you see Washington's numbers.
6 carries for 14 yards, so hats off to Don Marcone and the defensive staff of Rhode Island.
And we'll check out what the penalty call is right here. We saw a little slip down on the field. 2nd down and 9, and again, an encroachment call against Rhode Island. Tim Cohen, it's about the only bugaboo he's had so far in this game. So encroachment will set up 2nd down and 3 yards to go.
Jason Manson doing another great job with drawing the defense off sides. This is one of those situations, Don, that you might see a bootleg out of Jason Manson because it's an obvious rundown. And on second down, it gives you another opportunity.
Manson instead gives to the fullback. Didn't gain much on it. Ryan LaFerriere.
Well, it was a simple belly play, just a reverse pivot by Jason Manson, and Matt Richards from his nose guard position from LaSalle worked his way down the line of scrimmage to make the tackle on LaFerriere.
Matt Richards heading to the Coast Guard Academy. One of the best linemen in the state of Rhode Island last year. Connecticut will get a timeout.
Connecticut, timeout.
I'm sure that Matt Richards is probably headed to the Coast Guard Academy sooner than later. They usually get started pretty early over there, so he's probably delayed his entry into the Coast Guard until this football game is over.
Nice crowd enjoying a summer evening. Pierce Field. Not used to wearing shorts here. Usually I'm here doing games in December or Thanksgiving or something like that. Freezing up here in the booth, but it's a beautiful night for football. I think you should play the Super Bowls this time of year. Much more enjoyable to win.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, that's the one thing that happens in New England. Because you have the traditional Thanksgiving Day game, never going to change that in some of these New England states, so the playoffs have to be conducted after Thanksgiving, which puts you in December, make the playoffs. A lot of the states around us, including New York and some of the others, don't play traditional Thanksgiving Day games, so their playoffs usually end somewhere in late November as opposed to where we are. So, but that's okay, because Thanksgiving football is a large part of the tradition of Rhode Island football, and we love the opportunity to play on that morning, and it gives us great opportunities.
Now, if you've enjoyed seeing this game so far, here are replay opportunities. Get your VCR cranked up if you want to get any of these highlights. Saturday, July 20th, 1 p.m. on Cox 3, you can see the game, or Friday, August 9th at 8 p.m. on Cox 3. So if you know somebody playing in this game, or you just want to get some highlights of some great high school football action, crank up those VCRs on those days as Hairston cranks it up through the middle. And finally, the whistle blows, just kept churning those legs, and he gets first down yardage.
That was a one-man show by Justice Hairston on that one. It was an off-tackle play out of the wishbone. Once again, a play they've run several times in the course of the first half. But that was just leg drive and determination to get himself the first down, because in that, with the rules of the game, Don, too, in the 50 defense that they're playing, the linebackers in a less than 3-yard situation can come closer to the line of scrimmage to play tougher defense, which Rhode Island linebackers were in that situation, and Justice Harrison did that all on his own.
And we do have a timeout on the field. It seems to be, it is an official's timeout. Connecticut.
Appears to be that the Connecticut coach, Don, I think Rob Samazik and Steve Filippone are probably questioning something about the rules. It's probably an interpretation of the rules. And as I said earlier, the Rhode Island football officials who are volunteering their time tonight and are certainly getting an aerobic workout here as well, they're playing with a whole different set of rules. Although we play National Federation rules both in Rhode Island, Connecticut, and here tonight as well, they are playing under different rules in what the defense can do and what offensive formations can be run. So it's new to them as well.
And they're calling Tim Cohen, the Rhode Island head coach, out. They want him in on the discussion, which makes sense. You might as well get both together to get things straight so you don't have to bounce back between the two sidelines. And you mentioned Rob Samazik. This will be his final game as a head coach. Doctors advise coaching can be a stressful situation, and he's had some personal health problems, so they've advised him, I guess, not to coach anymore, so this is going to be a meaningful game for him.
I think it is, and I think Rob is real excited to be a part of this game tonight, because unfortunately he's not going to be able to return to the head post at Maloney High School in Meriden, Connecticut next year because of his health, and he's had some honestly some near-death experiences, which I think makes him appreciate life a little bit more. But his fellow coaches in the state of Connecticut wanted Rob to coach this game tonight to say thank you to him for all his contributions to the Connecticut High School Coaches Association, and they couldn't have picked a classier gentleman than
And there's another look at the offensive rules. Earlier we took a look at some of the defensive rules.
The offensive rules, you can't use an unbalanced line. It's used to deceive or to create any offensive advantage. They can use motion, which you've seen during the course of the night. The shifts can be used, but as long as they aren't meant to deceive, and that hasn't happened during the course of the night tonight. And there also must be one back in the backfield at all times. You can't use empty offensive sets, meaning no backs in the backfield.
And Samazik back to the sideline. Try to find out exactly what the discussion was down there. The ball is still spotted where it started out, 36-yard line in Rhode Island territory. First down for Connecticut. And penalty flag. This one will be against Connecticut. So a little bit of an early lean back there.
I think that maybe what the discrepancy possibly could have been, Don, is what's perceived as maybe an unbalanced line by the Connecticut offense. They've got 3 receivers to the strong side or to the right side as we look at it. One of them not being eligible, which is the tight end on the end of the line of scrimmage. So it could be Rhode Island could possibly be asking the officials for interpretation whether that's an unbalanced line or not.
Washington back in the backfield on 1st and 15. Connecticut's first offensive possession here in the second half. Rhode Island scored just 1:05 minutes into the second half. There is Washington with the ball. Tackle by McGowan out of St. Ray's.
Sean McGowan made a great play, and had it not been for Sean filling that gap on the counter play by Washington, that could have gone for big yardage because Washington was just starting to hit his stride when Sean made the play. You can see it here. Sean from his right inside linebacker play works, stays low, gains leverage. Connor Galvin on the scrape from the backside. Those two gentlemen have played very well in the middle of the field tonight.
Matt Richards coming over for a little help at the end of the play. And McGowan, we previewed in the pregame, knew that he'd have to come up big against that tough Connecticut running game with 2 top backs.
They are chewing clock here, Don. This game is moving quite a bit now that Connecticut's controlled the clock.
Manson playing a hold in the backfield, no call, and Manson will gain only a yard.
It appeared to be just a straight quarterback sprint into their own sideline that time, Don. Jason Manson takes it to the right sideline and gets 2 lead blockers out with him. It didn't look like there were any potential receivers out here. That is a predetermined run play right now for the quarterback to carry the ball. And if I had Jason Manson on my team, I'd let him run the football too. He's a great one.
No gain on the play though. 3rd and 12.
You know, we're obviously what I'm sure Connecticut seems as a 4-down territory in this play at this point in the game. And you would think that Jason Manson would be looking to throw the ball.
Sanchez to the low part of the screen. He is dangerous. Inside screen over the middle. Going to gain some yardage. About 7 yards on the play. It'll be 4th down and 5.
Well, it was a good call. It's, you know, what the run and shoot teams call in the NFL and the college game, a little shoot screen to the outside receiver, David Sanchez, coming back to the middle of the field to take advantage of the defensive flow, as you'll see it here, as Jason rolls out to his right, and Sanchez works back to the middle of the field and comes underneath his blockers, and it got them what they needed. They're in a 4th down and 5 situation, and as I said, they were in 4-down territory, so they had 2 plays to gain the needed 11 yards.
And you got a playmaker like that getting in his hands. Sanchez reminds you a little bit of Riddle the first year, who was the talented athlete who ended up going up to Syracuse.
You know, I agree with that down here. It's the same play, same thing.
Great catch, but it's going to come up short of the 1st down. Rhode Island will take over on down.
You know, a tough call to run that twice in a row because that's a great play and it's a great call. And a lot of teams have had success with that play for the years. But the second time, Rhode Island was not fooled. You know, you mentioned, Don, about Jamal Riddle, who's at Syracuse now. That particular play that they just ran, the shoot screen, was a play that Jamal Riddle scored on, I believe, twice in that first game down at Southington, Connecticut. You can see it again. David Sanchez working from right to left. And once again, not fooled. Matt Richards from his nose guard position. You can see, once again, Connor Galvin and Sean McGowan in on the football play. Those inside linebackers have been the strength of that defense tonight.
They may be undersized, but I'll tell you, it's a very smart defensive unit for Rhode Island.
Well, you know, you got to give credit to Mike Sassy and to Bob Montero as well. They're 2 head coaches. They're both defensive-minded people. Those kids have been coached very well in high school football.
Brito, the quarterback, Rhode Island, with their running attack out there. Orlando Johnson back. Hit by Connecticut, number 24, Chris Joyner with the bury there.
Oh, great play by Joyner. It appeared to be a tackle trap out of the wing T offense as we watch it here, which it was. And boy, Joyner filled with authority. And Orlando Johnson only being about 150 pounds. That's a mismatch right there in the open field.
Came up in the free safety position to make the play.
You'll notice, too, that the secondary of Connecticut has played very close to the football. They're allotted 5 yards that they can be from the line of scrimmage, and they've played very, very tight to the ball tonight, which has probably contributed in some ways to some of the passing efficiency of Rhode Island tonight.
backfield for a loss. Connecticut's defense may be fired up by that Joyner play.
Great job there on the fill. That was just another waggle, and this one was a little bit different than Joey Brito was working to his right, which has been uncommon tonight because he's left-handed and Tim likes to roll him to his left, but he came to his right. And I think what's happening now is the inside linebackers, when the guards pull on that particular waggle, are following the guards and filling the gap coming inside out. And it's not technically a blitz. They're just reacting to the guards' pull and pulling and getting into the vacated gap that the guard has left.
Second great play by Andre Clayton so far in this game. Third down, 14 yards to go. DeWitt in motion. He scored twice. Bricolo takes the handoff. He scored 3 times, but goes nowhere on this attempt. Maybe even a loss on the play of a yard. Punting unit for Rhode Island comes on the field.
Connecticut is starting to gain their confidence on the defensive side of the ball. They certainly have more confidence when Rhode Island is in their wing T offensive sets. As I said, they're going to bring their secondary closer to the line of scrimmage. They're going to react to it. There's only a few pass plays that Rhode Island will run out of that wing T offense. So they're ganging up and trying to put 11 on the ball, which they're doing very effectively at this point.
Getting ready to punt the ball away for Rhode Island. Dave Murphy out of North Kingstown. Good snap. Cover team comes down. That's Hairston stepping up, lets the ball go. And it's picked up on the 39-yard line with coverage for Rhode Island by
Well, it wasn't one of Dave's best kicks, Don. You know, he's certainly capable of kicking it further, but he got great roll out of it, which he always did during the course of this year. And Owen Koch did a great job in terms of coverage and giving Connecticut fairly decent field position at their own 40 once again. Be interesting to see which offense they come out with, and it looks like the shotgun is back.
Yep, Kuhn, the quarterback, had an 87-yard touchdown pass to David Sanchez earlier in the game. Tall, lean quarterback, Washington on his hip. Dangerous running back, and he goes nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. McGowan among those in on the tackle for Rhode Island. Those linebackers are playing great, huh?
They really are. And, you know, I think Owen Koch probably set this up as well as anyone, the right defensive end. He came hard from his right defensive end position, creating the seam, forcing Washington back to the middle of the field to feed right back into Galvin and McGowan.
Loss of 4 on the play. Guarantee you not many times in his high school career has Washington been dropped for that much of a loss. 3-time Connecticut Player of the Year. After Esmail. Throw it high to the tall, lanky receiver. It's a 6-yard reception.
That was a nice throw. I mean, it got them back into somewhat of a rhythm once again. The Esmail kid is from Southington High School. As you see him here, he's a very tall kid, probably about 6'5". And Southington High School, the school that he hails from, and head coach Jude Kelly is known for their proficiency in the offensive passing game. Jude Kelly is a great head coach at Southington, and he has thrown the ball with a great deal of success for the year.
4 wide. Washington in the backfield. Heavy rush. Q throws it up. Defensive pick nearly by Rhode Island. And then Sanchez almost comes back to make it. Looked like Charlie Gibbs wanted to run with it before he caught it. Just slipped through his hand.
Yeah, once again, Owen Koch from the left defensive end position, putting pressure on Kuhn, forcing them to pull up short and throw the ball underthrown. And I'm sure that Charlie's kicking himself on this one. That was one that was right in his hands. As you said, he probably had his eyes on the end zone instead of the ball. And Sanchez almost caught this ball after the deflection.
4th down now for Connecticut. Newsy, high snap. Newsy, he's under pressure, not blocked. Great kick under that much pressure. Fair catch called for and made by Rhode Island down the other end by Gibbs. That's a tremendous kick. That type of pressure to just pound out a 40-yard punt.
Well, Matt Newsy did a great job, obviously, of setting his feet to kick the ball because he had heavy pressure from Greg Daniel off the left side and almost had a fumbled opportunity when the 2 deep receivers for Rhode Island bumped into each other on the fair catch.
4:21 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Rhode Island, 18-point lead in this one. They trailed 22-12 at one juncture, but late in the first half, Tim Cohen's Rhode Island squad got hot, scored 21 points in the last 4 minutes of the first half, and scored in their first possession in the second half. Dinnigan back in, throwing attack, chucks it out here. Big hit in Oakland.
Great play by Chris Barrett coming out of his left corner position for Connecticut. It's a great throw by Shane Dinnigan once again on the small little hitch play out of what is perceived as a three-step drop offense. And great hit. Take a look at the hit. There's some pad smacking.
Lick smacking good out there. Laying the lumber. Gain on the play of 7 yards. Dinnigan, 2nd and 3. The pitch to Harrell on the outside. Gets some room on the sideline. Continues to run. And he's out of bounds on the far sideline, but he gets Rhode Island a first down. Boy, he's a dangerous kid after the catch.
Boy, he's got speed to burn. And I'll tell you that the play was set up by the wing official. He ducked to let the ball go over his head to let Brian catch it. If you watch it on this replay, the official had to get out of the way because it was coming right at him. He dropped down, which gave Brian the chance to catch the ball, and you can see the acceleration up the sideline. The only thing Brian's got to do in that situation is get the ball on his outside arm so he can use his inside arm to defend himself.
Great play by the official. Love that. They're in midseason form, too. Dinnigan chucks it to the outside. Good coverage right there. Smart play by Shane, having the lead, just throw the ball away.
Leo Morgan did a great job from the inside secondary position getting to the flat on that throw. Shane really didn't have much place where he could place the ball on that particular play. So credit to Leo Morgan out of his secondary position chasing the inside out flat play by Danny Oakland.
2nd and 10, ball on the Rhode Island 44. Piccolo, he's played every offensive play for Rhode Island in this one. Picks up Morgan's blitz, throw to Oakland over the middle, close to first down, he's popped it up. Looks like Rhode Island recovers.
Very efficient pass game right now. Shane Dinnigan is delivering the ball. Danny Oakland ran a quality hook route from his outside receiver position. Accelerated with the ball, unfortunately put the ball on the ground, but it appears that one of the Rhode Island linemen was smart enough to fall on it for the recovery.
Chris Flossie, number 58, with the key recovery right there.
Chris out of Bishop Hendricken. Head coach Ron Mosca. Nice hit there to cause the fumble by the Connecticut defensive back as well.
2nd straight time Oakland's taken a big hit. 3rd down and 5 yards to go for a first. Ball a yard short of midfield. Hand up for Colo. Flag on the play. Eddie is going to be dropped. With Piccolo, you got to wait till you hear that whistle and make that call. Got great escapability. We'll have to see who the penalty's against.
That was the draw trap play again that Eddie's run so well tonight. And this time he couldn't get vertical and find a seam in the defense because Connecticut rallied downhill to the ball. But you can see what I had talked about earlier about having the ball on the outside arm and using the inside arm to defend yourself. As you can see here, Eddie, how he breaks 2 or 3 tackles working to his left. Take a look how he uses that right arm right there to defend himself. He's a tough runner. But I don't know anybody that can fend off 6 people at one time.
And it's going to go against Connecticut. On 3rd and 5, just enough for Rhode Island to get first down yardage.
Connecticut.
Big penalty. Big penalty to keep that play alive because it was going to be a 4th down opportunity for Connecticut in a possible punt situation for Rhode Island.
Now procedure call there against the defense. Could that be one of the special rules maybe set up for this game?
I think they might have jumped, Don. I think that's what happened. They might have been in the neutral zone on the snap of the ball.
Just enough yardage for a first down. Rhode Island drive, stays alive on the 46 of Connecticut.
Pace has slowed down a little bit here in the 3rd quarter, though. You know, both teams have run the ball with some proficiency here in the 3rd quarter a little bit. Clock has been eaten up as we sit here with 2:25 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Crowd has quieted down a little bit. They're waiting for another big play.
All those points in the first half, 55 points in that half, and just 7 so far here in the 2nd half. Another flag fly. Throws it downfield, throws it away, looking for Oakland, incomplete. Again, we'll have to see what the hanking's about.
Connecticut did an excellent job in coverage that time. Rhode Island was in a balanced formation with 2 receivers to each side. Ran 4 vertical routes straight down the field. Connecticut covered it up very well. Shane really didn't have many options of where to throw the ball in that particular play.
Same call.
As you can see, Shane was flush from the pocket. And you can see the coverage and the collision by the defensive backs, which didn't give Rhode Island much opportunity, and Shane smartly threw it out of bounds.
5 yards against Connecticut.
So it's against Connecticut, 5-yard procedure penalty. First down and 5.
Well, Connecticut continues to shoot itself in the foot with penalties. It's created first down opportunities for Rhode Island, good field position for them as well. They have to shore up on their penalty issues so they can play the solid game of football that they're capable of playing.
Finnegan looking downfield. Carroll behind the defensive back. Lots up and intercepted down there. Slightly overthrown before the pickoff for Connecticut. And the number 6, Deja Durant with that one.
Deja did a great job in this ball, accelerating. You always teach defensive backs that they have to go to their highest point to catch the ball. And if you watch him, the ball's a little bit underthrown, obviously, but you watch him accelerate and catch the ball at its highest point. That's exactly what you teach defensive backs to do. And unfortunately, Shane wasn't able to deliver the ball a little bit sooner because Brian Harrell was open down the left sideline.
A lot of field in front of Connecticut. Manson is the quarterback for this series.
First and 10 from the 10.
Durant with the interception. Ball spotted down on the 9-yard line, so first and 10 and a lot of field in front of Connecticut. Handoff goes to the fullback up the middle. Ryan LaFerriere with that one.
Nice play. Looked like a little fullback trap out of the I formation. Got themselves up inside to the center guard gap to the right-hand side of the offensive line. And a good play to get themselves out of their back-to-the-wall situation that they incurred from the interception earlier.
Hairston deep in the eye. LaFerriere, first back through, gets the handoff, gets the first down.
Just a little off-tackle belly play to the fullback working to the right side. They might see something in the defensive line of Rhode Island to that right side because that seems to be the area they're picking on. And you can see multiple substitutions coming on the field for Rhode Island from the defensive side to make an adjustment.
Wholesale substitutions, 5 Rhode Island defenders checking out. We'll have to see. It looks like Rhode Island may have jumped first.
Looks like Casey Factor of West Warwick High School might have been the victim on that one. He's the right defensive tackle in this position. You can see Casey start to work inside. And once again, Jason Manson has managed to draw Rhode Island off sides with the inflection of his voice.
He's got to be something of that, too, because you've got a lot of smart players out there for the Rhode Island team, and he's been able to draw Rhode Island off sides into double digits. Pitch to Washington on the outside, cuts it back in, right into that linebacking core of Rhode Island for about a 2-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 3. Time ticking down here in the 3rd quarter. Connecticut's going to need to put a lot of points up in that 4th quarter. They trail by 18. Tim Cohen knows it's not over till it's over, though, and Connecticut showing some quick strike ability.
A great play there by Tomi Okunfalami of LaSalle Academy. He played contained defense and forced Washington back to the middle of the field where he had defensive help.
Final play of the quarter. Penta takes the handoff, and he is dropped for a loss. So it'll be 3rd down and 4 to go when the 4th quarter begins. Rhode Island stretches out their lead here in the 2nd half. They were up by 11 at the half, and it continues to grow. What will happen in the 4th? We'll show it to you right here on Cox 3.
Star Super Pack. Hundreds of movies, millions of emotions.
Showtime presents a new original series.
That NADCOM satellite we deployed was some sort of cover.
They used us, didn't they? Whoever destroyed the Earth looks just like us.
Oh, my God.
That will leave you breathless.
Dad, get out of here. Go, go!
I can't find the Earth.
Odyssey 5, starring Peter Weller, every Friday night, 10 p.m., 9 Central, part of Sci-Friday on Showtime.
We are back in East Providence, Rhode Island, Pierce Field. Rhode Island football all-stars taking on the Connecticut football all-stars. All the best from the senior classes in the two respective states going at it. And through 3 quarters, it has produced a 40-22 lead for Rhode Island on Connecticut. Rhode Island looking for their 3rd straight victory over Connecticut.
It really would be unbelievable from a coach's standpoint, in my opinion, if Rhode Island was able to win 3 straight games in a row. Certainly an uphill task for them, with Connecticut having 3 times as number of schools as we have.
Sanchez goes for it on 3rd and 3 and is dropped for a loss, and now it's decision time, and it will be a punting situation. They will punt the ball away as Newsy comes on the field, as he actually loses 2 yards on the play. You can see, though, they decide to go to Sanchez when they need to make something happen out there. Somehow they try to get him the ball.
They have. He's been their playmaker tonight, along with Justice Harrison. That was the reverse off of the toss sweep again. This time, Casey Factor, West Warwick, snuffed it out from his defensive tackle position, made a great play. Casey's headed to Bryant College in the fall. He played for Steve Alves at West Warwick. What a great, great player.
Gibson out back deep. This will be Gibbs fumbling the ball. Smartly falls right down on it on the 49, and Rhode Island offense will take over with great field position. One more score could just about ice this one. Cox Digital Cable now offers more choices in Spanish programming with the Telelatina package. Telelatina offers 7 channels of movies, news, sports, and family programming, all in Spanish, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information or to order Telelatina, call Cox at 1-888-898-9751.
Great field position here for Rhode Island once again.
Brito, the man at the helm. Johnson, the motion back. Handoff for Colo up the middle. He gains 5.
Rhode Island is back into the wing T offense once again. I'm sure trying to eat a little bit of clock here in the 4th quarter to control it. And once again, the quick motion by Orlando Johnson and the fullback trap to Eddie Percolo. As you can see here, this is the complement play off that quick pitch with a great trap there on the kickout block. And give credit to Connecticut as he falls back inside to make that tackle on Eddie, who had long ways to go had he not made that tackle.
Why the 2 different offenses? To utilize the skills of certain players each way, to give Connecticut 2 different looks? Why 2 distinct types of offenses being run?
To feed into the offensive strengths of these kids and what they played in their high school sport. Joey Brito is a wing T quarterback at St. Raphael Academy. He can run that offense, and one that Tim Cohen is obviously familiar with, and a lot of his players who were in this game are familiar with. And at the same time, Shane Dinnigan was a drop-back shotgun quarterback at Burrillville High School, so it takes advantage of his strengths as a player as well, along with the wide receivers he has to complement him tonight.
Orlando Johnson dropped for the loss right here.
Great play out of the secondary. It's a great open field tackle because Leo Morgan was on the move, and Chris Barrett filled from the inside out position and made the play on Orlando Johnson, working from left to right.
So it'll be 3rd down, 7 yards to go for Rhode Island. Brian Harrell, low end of the screen. Handoff comes this way to E.J. DeWitt. E.J. dropped for a huge loss on the play. First time anything negative has been associated with his name all night. Has 2 touchdowns and a great downfield block. And
that was the counter crisscross play, Don, that I had mentioned earlier. It's a double handoff play that occurs with a trap by the offensive line. Tim's teams run this so well at LaSalle. You know, maybe a little bit of the timing, but Connecticut ran it down extremely well, and E.J. got himself outside of the trap block, which caused problems for him.
Dave Murphy, no pressure. Kick away, low liner over the middle. Hairston has it bounce over his head. And again, not artistically sound, but very effective boot right there, getting it down to the 20. Those are tough kicks sometimes. They're very iffy to handle or not. They come up, if you charge up and try to grasp the ball, and could easily result in a fumble situation.
The thing that I don't understand a little bit, Don, is why Connecticut's not putting any pressure on the punter at all. You know, you're down 18 points at this point in the 4th quarter. You know, the defensive ends have got great speed. I think you got to bring them up the field and try to make something happen and create some opportunities through your special teams to give your offense some good field position.
Quarterback Neil Johnson in the game. First offensive series for him in the second half. Penta and Hairston behind him. Johnson drops back, throws it over here, deflected at the line of scrimmage. Good pressure on the outside again. Damian Kindle with the play.
That was just a little one-step hitch route over here to Pierce, and Damian Kindle jumped from his left defensive end position here and knocks this ball down. You know, as I said earlier here, you can see how it's very difficult for offensive tackles to block athletes like Damian Kindle in the open field, and the defensive ends certainly wreak havoc in this structure of the rules of this game.
Wholesale offensive substitution on this one for Connecticut. Sanchez checks in.
Into the shotgun again.
Yep. Empty the backfield. Johnson tosses out. Went right through Exmail, the second receiver.
Tim Burbridge from East Greenwich made a great play on that play, Don. He was working inside out into the flat. Tim Burbridge, an all-state player, a great quarterback and defensive back for Coach Artie Kershaw, and also a great baseball player in his own right.
Art Kershaw, another one of the high school coaching legends around the state of Rhode Island.
We're going to miss Artie. He retired just this past June, and Artie's given up the football job and the AD's job at East Greenwich, and a legend has left the game. There's not many more like Art Kershaw left in the state of Rhode Island to coach football the way he does so successfully.
Third down, 10 to go. Johnson out of the gun, looking downfield, pump fake, under pressure, goes back towards the middle. Good block for Freeman. Stays on his feet, eventually dragged down at the 5-yard line. Saw some great football two ways there. Connecticut offensive linemen did themselves proud by coming back with a big block.
Boy, I'll tell you, the big block was executed by Jake Chalupski, excuse me, and he leveled Damian Kindle on his pursuit. But there was such heavy pressure that was brought on by Rhode Island that somebody was going to make the play. You could see the block right there. And Owen Koch comes up with a sack, and he's had a great night from Mount Pleasant High School.
15-yard loss, 4th and 25. Newsy to punt from deep in his own end zone. Rhode Island with pressure. We have a penalty flag down on the field. Great kick by Newsy. Gets it to midfield. Teddy Awa gets it there. Awa on the return. And about 10 yards on the return. We'll have to see what the flags are.
Boy, I can't say enough about Matt Newsy. Boy, both in the field goal kicking and the punting department, he has really got a big-time leg on him.
And again, it seemed to be very early in that play. Unless it was some sort of, I would think, hold on Rhode Island, even if it does go against Rhode Island. And at worst, it would be a repunt situation. And even the officials are discussing it for a while, where to spot it. It was before the ball was kicked, the flags flew. Tim Conway, the referee, has done a great job. Umpire David Crater. Linesman Paul Rogers. Bill Phillips is the line judge. And Bill Paiva, the back judge.
These gentlemen have taken their job very seriously tonight. I met with them Tuesday night to go over the rules of the game, and they're very concerned of doing a very good job for the state of Rhode Island and Connecticut in this all-star game. And as well, they have a crew here on the chains tonight and also the official timer. So hats off to the people from the Rhode Island Officials Association for donating their time tonight to this annual classic.
Unsportsmanlike, live ball. Huh? On the way.
Looks like a possible unsportsmanlike call on Rhode Island, which could create a first down, possibly, for Connecticut. No, they'll be short of it, and they'll have to re-kick.
Be a re-kick. Yeah, again, it's not an automatic first down situation on the unsportsmanlike.
On the kick, it was a kick, right kick.
So it'll be a re-kick situation, 4th down and 10. He booted that last one, Newsy, and Awa might want to take a step further back. High snap, though. Newsy gets it off. Ball bounds over midfield. So the penalty call helps about 11 yards of field position for Connecticut.
Not as effective a kick for Matt this time. He had a little bit of pressure coming off the right side from Owen Koch again, but effective enough in its own right.
Tim Cohen, been a long time since he lost a football game. How can you, I can't remember one.
His last loss was at Salve whenever it occurred. I'm sure it was in the playoffs.
That would make his last high school loss at South Kingstown High School sometime further back, right?
Actually, I think he went undefeated his last year at South Kingstown as well. I think they went 11-0, beating Ponegants at the Super Bowl that year.
So, he's hot. You're hot, you're hot. You're hot, I guess your name's Tim Cohen. Dinnigan, nice throw to Oakland. First down territory, very close.
Shane Dinnigan continues to put the ball where it needs to be delivered. Danny Oakland running quality routes. And Danny Oakland's very fortunate that Roger Farmer, one of the assistant coaches here at East Providence, does a great job of coaching his receivers. You can see Danny gets a great job of securing the ball and advancing it. And Connecticut is certainly flocking to the football at this point to try to get in, down by 18 with 10 minutes to play.
What I like about him, he makes the catch and then he turns and squares and looks. He doesn't try to do something before he knows where the defenders are.
He does. He's a smart receiver. He's headed to the University of Rhode Island. I'm sure he'll do very well for Tim Stowers.
Piccolo with a handoff up the middle, Preston in the secondary on the outside, chases down inside. Connecticut territory inside the 10. First and goal to go for Rhode Island. Rhode Island squad just about ready to put the icing on the cake in this one, up by 18 under 10 minutes to go.
What a night Eddie Percolo's have. Here we go, the draw trap once again that's been so successful for them. Looks like Matt Terrell from South Kingstown High School with the trap block going to his right, and Eddie Percolo just needs a little bit of room to make it happen, which he's done all night long.
Maurice Humphreys chased him down. Look at those numbers in an all-star game. We said he came in with a 12-yard average from LaSalle Academy last fall. Well, he's bettered it in this one. Over 15 yards for carry. Dinnigan airborne for Harrell. Broken up in the corner of the end zone. Nice defensive play by Devon Brown out of Harding High.
Nowhere to go with that one for Shane. Brian was very well covered in the left side of the end zone. And you can see that Shane delivers the ball to the outside shoulder where it belongs, but at the same time, defensive back for Connecticut makes a great effort to get a hand up on this ball.
Great camera work by a Cox 3 crew. And got a foot on it. Right in your living room.
Looks like number 5 for Connecticut, who's done a great job out there, Devon Brown.
Flags on the play.
Flags on the play.
Probably an illegal procedure once again.
Ball stop. On the right.
On Rhode Island.
Second down, 15 yards to go. Rhode Island can get a first down before they get into the end zone. Have to get inside the 3-yard line.
See the Rhode Island players stretching out Eddie Percolo there. This type of heat creates quite a bit of cramps for players, and as much as Eddie has played tonight, I'm sure that his calves are cramping up on him.
Percolo's played every offensive play for Rhode Island. Adds to his proficiency by getting the ball a little closer to the end zone, probably down around the 10-yard line.
The draw trap once again to Eddie out of the shotgun formation. Another great block by Matt Terrell coming from his left guard position on the trap.
Down at about 10.
If I may, Don, there's a couple of groups that we need to thank here tonight that created this game. One is Stadium System incorporated out of Canaan, Connecticut, as you see Eddie right now on the draw trap. Great play inside out by Connecticut to save the touchdown. Stadium Systems has donated the majority of the equipment along with Shutt Sports to create the equipment for this game. The University of Rhode Island donated jerseys and pants for both teams. So it's that collective effort that's created this atmosphere tonight.
Thanks to all the coaches for their efforts, including Keith Kenyon. Harrell tries to go up high and come down with the catch. And the coaches in Rhode Island have really rallied around this one, huh?
They really have. It's been a lot of fun. I think, when Sandy Gorham won that game over at the University of Connecticut in the second year of it, it was a great pole vault for the Coaches Association to realize that we could play. Not that Bob Montero's staff in the first year didn't do a great job, because they did. They played outstanding down there at Southington that night. But that gave us the confidence to win, and then obviously in last year's situation, it was a 28-7 win, and we felt very good about it as we entered into this year, the 4th year of the contest.
Maele attempting a 30-yarder. He's been close on 2 other field goal attempts. Maele, plenty of boot on it, high and down the middle. Jay Maele getting 3.
Good for Jay. He's kicked the ball pretty effectively tonight. He finally gets on the board with a field goal. And as I said, from the right hash again, he can use the strength of his leg. The other group that we'd like to thank, Don, is Brown University and head coach Phil Estes. You can see here on Jay's field goal, this one had plenty of distance as it left. It's got great technique, and that one splits the uprights very well. But Phil Estes and his crew, Tom Bold, the assistant athletic director, provide their locker rooms for our use for both the home and visiting team for the second year in a row. And it's a great accommodation for both teams. It's a first-class atmosphere over there. Unfortunately, it's one of the amenities that Piercefield doesn't have is locker rooms for the team, so we were able to use Brown University's, and we really do appreciate Phil Estes and also Tom Bold of offering their facilities for our use for the second year in a row.
So it's nice to see both colleges in Rhode Island, also Bryant College plays football here in Rhode Island and the Division II level in Salve, but the two Division I AA schools both stepping up to help the local programs, and there have been a lot of kids coming out of the ranks that have made impacts in both of those schools.
No question about it, and we also have to tip our cap to Bryant College, the scouting combine where these kids test to be selected on this team. Bryant College host and his staff, Jimmy Maselli, has done it for 3 years now that we've been able to run the combine there. And Jimmy has been very cooperative with this game as well.
Maele cranks it away. Finally, he beats deep one, and Humphreys can't handle it back there. First time Rhode Island has booted the ball away on a kickoff, and Humphreys shows some of that dangerous return ability for Connecticut, getting it up to the 28.
Well, Don, you have a future as a football coach because you predicted that early with all those squib kicks and onside kicks, and eventually they would deke it and go deep on them, and that's exactly what they did. They tried to put it over their head, but Connecticut made a great return out of it and making something out of the nothing to advance the ball up to the 28-yard line.
Trust me, I don't have a future as a coach. But a nice job by Humphreys to get a handle on that one. Just nearly did get over his head.
Maurice really advanced that ball from his own 3-yard line. This is a great job, and some people get out and make some key blocks for him along the way. If it hadn't been for Michael Martins from East Providence making that tackle, he could have been well on his way to the end zone.
Coming out in the I formation. Rolla looking down the field. Under heavy pressure, the throw on the sideline here. Was it a catch?
Boy, it looks like it, I'll tell you. That was a great throw by Jason Manson under pressure. And you can see Esmile from Southington making a great catch working over to a sideline. The play kind of lost its rhythm and its timing, and John Esmile was able to work here to the near sideline to make that catch diving into the Rhode Island coaching staff.
Manson impressive on the move.
Watch John work across the field. He makes himself available by putting up his hand. It's a great catch, and Jason Manson delivered the ball exactly where he had to be delivered, low and outside for the potential catch.
Manson with Penta in the backfield. Behind him, along with Hairston. Manson will hold it. Hairston, a big block back there. Manson dodging, juking, throwing it away.
You're right about Hairston's block. That was a crushing block on the sprint out by Jason Manson to his left side. But the play lost its rhythm, lost its timing because of the successful secondary coverage by Rhode Island, and Jason did exactly what he has to, as you see here, by throwing the ball into his own bench to prevent a further turnover. Great pressure there once again by Matt Terrell of South Kingstown High School.
A good job, some of the Rhode Island depth showing off. They're getting everybody in the game and getting them some playing time right now. Kindle, Richards, Cope, all on the sideline. Factor on the sideline. Still that Rhode Island defense playing well. Hairston pitch over the middle, thrown away as a receiver slips down. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, it looked like he had a receiver open on that particular time. I think that Jason might have slipped a little bit on his delivery on it, but he looked like he was trying to go, I believe, to Ryan LaFerriere. I can't tell the number from here. I'm sorry, I could be wrong. I think it's David Sanchez, number 38, a familiar target.
Rhode Island did a nice job of shutting Sanchez down here in the second half. Got a couple of short screen passes for really no gain. And it's now going to be 3rd down, 10 to go, 7:23 left to go in this game. Rhode Island on a roll. They've scored the last 31 points in this one.
Connecticut needs something here, folks. They need to get something started.
Manson, handoff, Hairston, keeps the legs churning. And they're going to say he was down before the ball was stripped away. And Michael Martins from East Providence, the local fans, wanted him to have a fumble recovery very close to it. It's going to be 4th down.
I would assume that Connecticut's going to go for it here. They need to get on the board, and that play was started off there by Andrew Loftus of Rogers High School, who's a linebacker. Andrew got his hands on Hairston early, which created the opportunity for Martins almost to recover the fumble.
4th and 5. All over if somehow Connecticut can't muster a first down here. Manson, the keeper, under pressure, drops right away. Nice defense for Rhode Island. Corey Baxter from North Kingstown with the tackle.
Well, it looked like Connecticut thought that they could run the option to get the needed 5 yards for a first down, and Jason Manson had run the option at Bloomfield during the course of his career. You can see him working down the line. Looks like a speed option. It's a great play by Corey Baxter from his nose guard position, working down the line of scrimmage to make a play on a quarterback, because you certainly don't expect nose guards to make plays on quarterbacks in the option game.
Michael Martins played a lot of games here at Pierce Field. This will be his final one, the Townie. Moving on, these players are all seniors. Many of them moving on to play college football. Many of them playing their final football game ever.
Don, East Providence has been so well represented through the years of this All-Star game. They've always placed 4 and 5 kids on the team each year, and Mike is no exception. He's another great player, maybe a little bit undersized, but he has tremendous heart.
Brito with a handoff up the middle as Darrell Carter from South Kingstown takes that handoff, and you can tell that Tim Goins is feeling pretty good because he's got Eddie Percolo on the sideline, so he must feel pretty confident right now. Finally, Percolo gets a little rest on an offensive series.
Yeah, I think this is the first snap that we've seen anybody besides Eddie Percolo at the fullback position, and good for Darrell Carter. He was a great player at South Kingstown during his career, and he gets an opportunity to run the ball here as they try to eat a little bit of clock time here and hopefully end this thing with a victory celebration when it's over.
His head coach, Bruce Cardiff, one of the many assistants, helping out Tim Cohen.
Bruce has done a great job with this club over the 2 weeks, too. He's been very successful at South Kingstown since he came here from Woonsocket.
Johnson out of Rogers High School. Rogers has been producing a lot of quality football players, especially skilled players. Teddy Gibbons down at URI really started to make an impact, got some serious playing time as a freshman down there, and expects to get more for Tim Stour's squad.
What a great tradition at Rogers High School in high school football. From the legendary John Topa now to Jim Grauer, they've always produced quality athletes over there. And the opportunity to go play in Newport under the lights on a Friday night at Topa Field is quite an environment for high school football, similar to the one here at Pierce Field tonight.
3rd down, 6 yards to go. Brito gives it to E.J. DeWitt. He's in a heap of trouble in the backfield. And grab a yard for himself.
He tried to make something out of nothing. That was a mistimed play, obviously. Looked like they were trying to run the buck sweep in here to the near sideline, and the timing got a little bit messed up because E.J. is supposed to follow his guards out here and didn't get that opportunity, but he turned his shoulders up and got what he could to the sideline. You can see it here in the bobbled handoff. Great pursuit by the Connecticut defense, but E.J. gets his shoulders square and tries to make something out of nothing.
Punting situation. 5:02 left to go in this one. 21-point lead.
Once again, no pressure out of the Connecticut punt return team. They're obviously content with setting up the wall to try to get a big return, I guess.
I'll tell you, the next time Rhode Island could easily run that as Hairston fields the punt and only gets a couple of yards. Wouldn't be surprised if Tim Cohen notices that and just, you know, tells Murphy, okay, just walk up there and get a first down, because there wasn't really anybody in his way.
Well, you know what happened on that is that Connecticut's setting up a wall return into their sideline over there on the opposite hash, and Dave Murphy was smart enough to kick it outside of the wall. A wall return, the punt return game, wants the ball to be kicked away from the wall so they can work their way, pin the coverage team to the middle of the field and get outside the wall. And Dave did a nice job of kicking the ball outside the wall, which didn't give him much of an opportunity to return the ball.
A little slow getting up right there, Ryan Wilson out of Hendricken, and that's another great sign, too, in this one. We've seen no injuries in this one, and that's a blessing that you got a game like this. You want everybody else to stay healthy and have good football.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Don, too, we need to thank the Rhode Island Injury Fund, the Rhode Island team, because Joyce Freeman, who you saw walking off there with Ryan Wilson, has been a trainer that's the Injury Fund pays for during the course of the practice and the game here tonight, so we're very, very lucky to have their coverage here tonight.
Kuhn, the quarterback. Quick pitch to the outside.
looked like we had a little miscommunication there between David Sanchez and Ryan Kuhn. David seemed to be a little bit confused about the throw.
The Cox Communications retail store is now open at the Warwick Mall, conveniently located between Macy's and Old Navy. The new Cox store offers a full range of customer services and features, interactive hands-on displays of Cox digital cable, Cox high-speed internet, and Cox digital telephone. That's the Cox Communications retail store, now open at the Warwick Mall. Pitch to the outside, 9-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 1 for Connecticut. 4:33 to go in this one. How do you think this one ranks? This will be Rhode Island's 3rd straight win over Connecticut. Close-fought victory the first time in stores. Connecticut dominant effort last year, and to come back from a 10-point deficit in this one. How do you think this ranks with the victory so far, Rhode Island's strength?
Well, Don, I would say it has to be one of the better games, obviously, just from an offensive standpoint. As we watch Ryan Kuhn on the shotgun, picks up the first down. But I would also say that you know, you have to give credit to Rhode Island, because Rhode Island certainly knew that Connecticut was coming here with a whole different focus and ready to win a football game after losing the last 2. And Rhode Island has answered the bell. And as you remember, in the first half, in the first quarter, Connecticut's first drive was straight downhill in Rhode Island's face, and Rhode Island responded to it and didn't back down. So you got to give them a certain amount of credit.
Rhode Island's defense has really stepped up. In fact, 4:31 of the second quarter, 4:31 left to go in the half, was the last time that Connecticut scored this game. And Sanchez makes the catch on the far sideline. Since then, it's been a dominating Rhode Island effort. As Rhode Island has scored 31 unanswered points against the best that Connecticut has to offer.
David Sanchez makes yet another catch on the Connecticut sideline. Unfortunately, he was on his knee when he caught it, so he was down there. It's not like the NFL game where you can get up and run if you're not touched. In high school, when your knees are down, you're down.
Kuhn out of the gun. Under pressure, throws it out. Throws Kennedy. Goes back playing a deep corner.
Teddy did a great job because the outside receiver for Connecticut, S-Mile, ran a post pattern to the middle of the field, and then they ran a little takeoff or a swing route out of the backfield, which you'll see here, to try to get the ball up the sideline. And Teddy was very disciplined, staying in his outside third to make a play on that ball.
3rd down, 3 yards to go. Kuhn pitches to the outside to Sanchez, and a good lick immediately put on by Rhode Island as Steve Robinson out of Shea.
Great hit by Steve.
Capped his career in fine fashion this past December.
Steve's coach, Dino Campopiano, was named the Rhode Island Coach of the Year this year by the Providence Gridiron Club, and a well-deserved honor. He's done a fantastic job at Shea High School, following up Steve Alves Jr., who was there and wins quite a few championships before going on to West Warwick High School.
How long did it take you to say Campopiano?
Well, I'm married to an Italian, so I can figure that out.
S-Mile on the far sideline. Felt real good for him when they won the state championship this year.
He had come so close for so many years. His team has always been on the pinnacle of winning a championship, and you know, to obviously to go back this year and beat Burrillville, the team that had beat him the year before in the Super Bowl, I'm sure was crowning glory in Dino's career, and he's done a great job under those circumstances at Shea High School. He's a great young football coach and will be for quite some time.
Now the time's ticking away. You notice a lot of the assistant coaches are staying away from Tim Cohen on the sideline as the pitch goes down the middle, and it's intercepted down there by Rhode Island. Christian Preston out of East Providence with the pick. Rhode Island turnover of the game.
Only fitting that a townie from East Providence would get the final turnover, hopefully, of the night. Christian Preston making that pick on a deflected ball and advancing it up at about 20 yards to give Rhode Island the first down at their own 46-yard line.
As I was saying, this is why all the coaches are staying away from Tim Cohen. Although it would probably feel nice to have a little bath later tonight. You got to expect some of these players might go and try to dump him a little bit later. He amazes me, Kuhn, how he just stays in there so flat-footed in the pocket. I've never seen a quarterback so still with his lower body back there.
Yes, he is. He's a very patient quarterback. And unfortunately, he let that one go a little bit over the top, and you know, he let go of it a little bit early on it because S-Mile is obviously a large target. It was thrown over his head.
Brito out there, as you can see. So congratulations on the sideline, Christian Preston.
You know, ironically, I don't think that, well, maybe they can do a Gatorade bucket, these Rhode Island guys, but unfortunately they left their water jug over at Brown University in the locker room, so they had to go out and get a bunch of gallons of water for the kids to drink on the sideline, but maybe they'll take the ice jug and dump it on Tim.
I think that's what they're doing because they're guarding it over here on the sidelines. And one of our camera crew, keep an eye on Tim Cohen over here in case he gets a little dunk coming up. We'll try to give you a heads up. They're filling the Gatorade bottle just below us up with like gallons of water just to get something in it to be able to dunk on Tim.
Well, I can tell you from experiencing that last year as the head coach of Rhode Island, having it dumped on me, it's a heck of a lot easier to get it dumped on you here in June than it is in December when Tim's won his last 2 championships in the freezing cold.
But he had the shorts on no matter what.
Tim's always got the shorts on.
And yep, there it is. It's making its way towards Tim Cohen.
Chris Flossie from Henderson and Matt Richards from LaSalle. They've got bucket duty tonight. They're working their way towards Tim.
Cox cameraman, get ready. You're about to get a little wet down there. We're at 2:19. Second down. 10 yards to go.
It's only a matter of time here before Rhode Island puts the icing on the cake. Tim Cohen gets the bucket over his head and they celebrate with a trophy.
Play or so. A lot of planning. As much planning went in the game plan is going on. How they get dunked the coach without finding out. Brito. Handoff up the middle. Stuffed out. Nowhere to go. Get ready, boys. Tim Cohen. Congratulations on what's going to be an
for Tim. When this head coaching opportunity for the All-Star game came up, he's selected and elected by the coaches of his own state. He had some reservations about doing it after coming off the great season at LaSalle, and myself and a couple other coaches of the association really kind of talked to him heavily and said, this is something you need to do. It's great for your career, and we talked about it today over at Brown's locker room, and Tim talked about what a rewarding experience this was for him, as all his assistants had talked about today. It's just a great opportunity to get together with a highly skilled and motivated group of young men, and this is something you'll never, ever forget.
Well, Tim's a great coach, but I don't think he'll ever win a wet T-shirt contest.
Oh, boy.
A.J. DeWitt breaks into the secondary. This could be a cap for DeWitt's third touchdown of the day. No flags on the field. Rhode Island scores again.
Wow. E.J. DeWitt has had himself an evening tonight.
E.J. DeWitt, third
Let's see
score.
This thing again. Just a traditional buck sweep out of the wing tee that he cuts back inside. A play not designed to go into that gap, but he brings it up the middle of the field and outruns everyone to pay dirt.
Point after attempt coming up, and there's Tim. Oh, she didn't even have just drying off over here. We scored again. Can they make it 50? Rhode Island hit the half-century mark in this one. At one point in this game, the score was 22-12, Connecticut leading. Since then, my Rhode Island math tells me they've scored 38 straight points. E.J. DeWitt, 56-yard run, and that is Dad down there giving him a little hug. Yep, Ernie DeWitt, former great basketball player at Rogers and Bryant. 50-22.
Hard to believe.
I'm sorry, this goes down as maybe the best of the victories. The way they can just continue to pile up, especially in the second half. The normal philosophy is the bigger team, maybe deeper as in having more people here at the game. Maybe a team like Connecticut might wear Rhode Island down. Rhode Island hit their stride in this game. They've shut them out in the second half.
They really haven't done. They've played great defense in the second half, too. They've really shut down the run game. I haven't seen really one of the Connecticut running backs get uncorked tonight, and I think you have to give the credit to the Rhode Island defense. They've really done a great job.
Maeli, another boot away, goes back deep, gets it into the end zone. Ball placed out on the 20-yard line. Under 2 minutes to go in this one. E.J. deserves a drink. Good thing they saved E.J. Well, they dumped on Tim Cohen over there.
This is the fun right here because, these kids, this is their last high school football game before they go off to college or possibly work or even a military career in some cases. And it's a great situation. I always felt that last year when we were involved in this that, so many of these kids, unfortunately, you might lose your last high school football game, especially if you're in a playoff situation. They get a chance to redeem themselves and win their last high school game, and especially these East Providence kids who are playing here tonight that lost a heartbreaking game here in the Super Bowl in December. They get to win on their own field their final game of their career.
3 in a row for Rhode Island over Connecticut. Pitch to Sanchez on the outside. Stays in bounds. Quick feed on that kid. About a 9-yard gain.
He is quite a player, David Sanchez. I don't know what his total yards are tonight, but he has got to have probably about 60 to 70% of this offense.
Johnson under pressure. Getting his receive. Better watch the backside. So he will go down. He's hard time collar back to Jamal Blackson out of Rogers. Who's attacking.
Hey, Jamal Blackson is a quarterback at Rogers High School and an outside linebacker. On occasion, more an offensive specialist. Tonight he's playing defensive end, and he has played very well from the right-hand side. You can see him chasing this thing down. He gets blocked outside and works his way back in, never quits, makes the play from inside out. Jamal Blackson is quite an athlete, along with his teammates Andrew Loftus, Orlando Johnson, and E.J. DeWitt.
Rhode Island has out-hustled, outplayed, outperformed Connecticut once again. Rhode Island kids really want this, and it can become a pride thing too. I would imagine year after year, you got to tell each class you don't want to be the one to break the streak. Kind of like Bill Belial's got in hockey up there at the mountain. You make sure you're not the senior class that breaks the streak.
I don't think it's reached that proportion yet, but hopefully it does. But you know, the intentions right now are for the game to return to Connecticut next year, and hopefully in the new stadium in Hartford. That was always the plan, to bring it into the new stadium that UConn will be playing on in the future. But Connecticut has hosted it for 2 consecutive years. We've now hosted it for 2, and it will hopefully return to Connecticut, and I'm sure Connecticut will regroup and bring back a quality football team as they've done tonight.
1:14 to go. Esmail makes the catch. First down yardage. Clock was stopped as the reset chains.
Great job by John Esmail on the catch. He went high to get it. And it's a great pursuit there once again out of the secondary by Stephen Robinson from Shea. Jamal Blackson from his defensive end position as well.
1 minute to go until Rhode Island's 3rd straight victory over Connecticut. Again, they line it up, and Robinson with the pickoff. Steve Robinson comes up with the interception, the 5th turnover for Rhode Island. If I'm not mistaken, Rhode Island didn't turn the ball over at all themselves. Another key factor in this one.
No, they did. They played pretty well mistake-free football with the exception of the penalties. Great job by Stephen Robinson. You can watch him. He goes high here to get it at its highest point. You're going to see a great block by Jamal Blackson coming out of here out of your right-hand side. Right there, you just catch it out of the side of the camera, but Jamal laid a lick on the Connecticut player in pursuit of Stephen Robinson.
Fun time down on the bench, and a lot of friendships will be made. A lot of kids that were adversaries over the years going up against each other get to meet their opponents in a different way, and they have a new respect for them.
And they do. You know, it's a memory that you can never take away from these kids, and that's one of the things that we expressed to our kids last year, is that this is something they'll forever hold. And we were very fortunate that our kids, led by Ralph Plum and some of our great players, Vinny Shapiris, they still get together on holidays from vacations from school and get together and go out to dinner. So it's a bond that'll never, ever go away, and I'm sure that'll occur with this year's team as well.
We here at Cox are happy to have broadcast so far 3 of the first 4 games of this, and hopefully for years to come can continue with the relationship with both the Rhode Island and Connecticut High School Football Coaches Associations. I'd like to thank Keith Kenyon for all your work getting this game started, and a lot of organization goes on behind the scenes. You guys work quite a bit for this, and thanks for helping put on a great show.
You know, it's my pleasure and our pleasure as a coaches association. It's something that we truly enjoy doing. It's a showcase of our association that we can bring people here to Piercefield to enjoy it. And it's been a great night. We've had great weather for the 2nd year in a row. We've had 2 great victories by the Rhode Island team here again. And I can't say enough about Tim's coaching staff and the players involved here. It's been really a team effort, and you got to tip your hat to the 46 kids involved in this program. It's really been a successful campaign for them in 2002.
Down 22-12 with 4:31 left to go in the first half. Rhode Island got on a roll. They scored the next 38 straight points in this one to score a 50-22 victory over Connecticut. Their 3rd straight victory. Keith, quickly, you got to be real pleased.
I am. I think the state of Rhode Island was well represented tonight by our team and coaches. It's a great victory because we expected this to be a great competition from Connecticut. And as you can see the kids lining up to shake hands, they really have to be extremely proud. And we really want to thank Cox Cable, too, for being a part of this. It's great to have you back after a one-year hiatus. And it makes the world of difference to these kids when they can watch us on tape delay. It'll mean everything to them.
Glad to be here. Glad to bring you in. It was a great game. Tim Cohen continues his win streak. For our entire Cox 3 broadcasting crew and my color commentator Keith Kenyon, I'm Don Coyne. Rhode Island makes it 3 in a row.